catch me if I fall.
I thought I saw a rainbow peeking out in the grey gloom, but I think I made that up. But it's been all smiles, all fortune, all rainbows for England. Another one coming from a kick. This try, Makers and twisting like an eel over the line. The final man hanging off him, but he hacks his way over the line. It's his second try in this opening 20 minutes. Sean Wayne just being showed up on the big screen, sat 2 rows in front of me, still not smiling. We are still in early territory, but it's England who lead by 20 points to 0.
We've just reached half-time in the game between Bolton and Barnsley in the FA Cup first round. It's Bolton 0, Barnsley 2. Mark Hughes, 4 times winner, of course, of the FA Cup, manager of Bradford City, but his team are out. It was an all League 2 game. They've lost against Harrogate by 1-0. And in the first game, the early kickoff, Kevin Phillips, Sunderland legend, manager of South Shields, his team didn't get the job done. They were looking for the first giant killing of this weekend, but they were beaten 2-0 at home by Forest Green Rovers. Right, the fastest goal service around is coming your way, along with full commentary in the Premier League at Ellen Road of Leeds United against Bournemouth, and James McFadden is with Ian Dennis.
Just had an impeccable crowd reaction to the last post that was being played as the Leeds United players, as well as Bournemouth, but Leeds United as a club paying their respects ahead of Remembrance Weekend to those that made the ultimate sacrifice. And 8 military personnel were lined up on the touchline, and both captains laid wreaths at the edge of the technical area. You're listening to BBC Radio 5 Live on what is a miserable wet afternoon, it's got to be said, in West Yorkshire, where the rain is falling, but Leeds United are looking for a positive outcome as they're searching for back-to-back wins for the first time this season, building on that excellent win at Anfield last weekend. No surprise that Jesse Marsh is named an unchanged side. Meslier is in goal. Christensen, Koch, Cooper and Strout the back four, Rocker and Adams with Aronson, Somerville and Harrison behind Rodrigo. We're underway. Our referee is Tony Harrington. As Bournemouth, Leeds United, by the way, in the first half, playing from left to right as we look in all white. Bournemouth in their red and black striped shirts and black shorts, therefore defending the south stand and attacking the Kop end here at Ellen Road, playing from right to left. With Travers in goal, we're expecting them to play with the three central defenders of Smith, Senesi and Mepham, with Fredericks and Tavernier as the wing-backs, Cook, Lerma and Billing as the three in midfield. Keeper Moore and Dominic Solanke are the two up front. So just the one change being made by Bournemouth from the side that lost narrowly against Tottenham Hotspur, and that is Fredericks coming in for Zamora. Leeds then looking to make a quick start, and Somerville goes in and the referee looks at it and gives a penalty. Inside 60 seconds, Somerville made the darting run way too sharp, brought down. Tony Harrington had a look at it and gives a penalty to Leeds United.
It's absolutely electric from Somerville. He plays it inside to Aronson, he just lofts it over the top beyond that back line, and Somerville, the pace that he shows to get on the end of it, have to see it again in terms of the contact with the goalkeeper. The referee's really close and gives it as a penalty kick.
It was Senesi who's come across, wasn't it?
Yeah, Senesi, apologies. Electric pace from Somerville, really was, direct running, and it's clumsy from Senesi. What a start to the game for Leeds.
Well, Bamford took their last penalty and that was missed against Arsenal. VAR, as a matter of course, we'll have a look, but I can't really see this one being overturned, and so it falls to Rodrigo. Referee making sure that everybody is outside the penalty box away towards our right hand side. Rodrigo waits patiently. Straight run up, hands on hips, up against Mark Travers. There's the referee's whistle. Rodrigo now moves away towards his right hand side, strikes it left footed, sends the goalkeeper the wrong way. And the roar will tell you that Leeds United have got an early goal and they lead Bournemouth 1-0. No mistaking from the penalty spot there from Rodrigo.
Oh, what a cool penalty from Rodrigo. You're absolutely spot on. Straight run up, little shuffle to his right hand side. He's looking at Travers the whole time. Travers blinks first, dives to his left hand side. Rodrigo keeps his composure and just side foots it into the opposite corner. Tremendous start for Leeds. Cool penalty, but what about the pace? Direct running from Somerville to win that penalty kick.
That's James McFadden. Hadn't even had time to introduce the magician. As we're back working together here at Ellen Road in the FA Cup first round. Crawley 0, Accrington 1. So the usual goal service. We've got reporters out of the various games. And all of a sudden now it's Leeds United piling forward once more with Aronson. Out to Harrison on this near side the right. Flicks it back to Adams. I'm sure the game plan for Gary O'Neill would have been, let's try and keep this place quiet for 20 minutes. They might turn. That all of a sudden's gone out of the window in every respect.
Yeah, no doubt about it. You know that the atmosphere here is going to be incredible. Regardless of Leeds' form, performances, the crowd always turn up. So there is no doubt it would have been keep it tight, don't give anything cheap away. And it's not, obviously, if they score a wonder goal, fine. But if you're defending poorly, it's something he's been moaning about. Gary O'Neill and the defending was really poor for that penalty kick. But credit to Leeds, they've come out flying and they're putting Bournemouth under early pressure.
Shrewsbury lead York City by a goal to nil in the FA Cup first round. The ball played out by Adams to Christensen, blocked, and it's going to go behind for a corner kick. Let's just quickly get an update from the Rugby League. Katie Smith.
Yeah, England 32, Papua New Guinea 0. They are running rampant here. George Williams brought down in the sopping wet grass, helps him slide under the post. Callum Watkins in his third World Cup as well, scoring on return from concussion. It's England 32, Papua New Guinea 0.
Commentary of that is on Sports Extra. You can also watch it on BBC One television. Leeds United 1-0 up already. Corner kick near side the right. Harrison to take it, left-footed, delivered deep. Headed out by Kiefer Moore. Looping header back in by Adams. and then powerful header away by Solanke. Adams again, though, will head it back forward for Leeds United, and then it's hit long, but the referee's actually blown his whistle already. There's a change in terms of the officials as well. Michael Salisbury, who was due to be the fourth official, is now the assistant referee on the far side in front of the east stand here at Ellen Road, because Richard West was injured in the warm-up, and so now Richard West is on fourth official duties down below as we sit here on the gantry watching Bournemouth trying to recover from conceding that early goal. And the ball is played forward by Adam Smith as Leeds United win it back, and Harrison hits an early ball forward, little touch from Aronson, and a little bit of a heavy touch as it goes through towards Mark Travers. We welcome listeners to the BBC World Service to West Yorkshire in the rain. Leeds United already leading Bournemouth by 1-0, so wherever you are in the world, always a pleasure to have your company. Just notice as well, James McFadden, that Adam Smith is the one playing on the left-hand side, and it's Fredericks who's on the right. As a goal at Celtic Dundee United, what if aside?
Yes, indeed. I mentioned earlier that Celtic had beaten Dundee United 9-0 back in August. On that occasion it took them 15 minutes to go ahead. This time it's taken them 6, ominously, for Dundee United. Hank Savanovic.
Same weekend that Bournemouth had shipped the 9 goals at Liverpool. As very rare actually for under Gary O'Neill for Bournemouth to, I think they've only suffered the 1 defeat by less than 1 goal. They've got a chance here and they've equalised, and it's Tavernier who has popped up for Bournemouth, and he scored his first goal for the club. Their first attack, cross came in from the right, never dealt with, fell to Tavernier, who hit it right-footed past Meslier, and within 7 minutes we've had 2 goals. It's 1-1.
Oh, what a response. And there's no surprise. It goes wide to the right hand side to Billing. He just clips it into the middle for Kiefer Moore to go and attack. He doesn't get on the end of it, but Marcus Tavernier picks up a great position, always gambling at that back post. I mean, it drops to him, side footer back across Meslier, just concentrating on getting a good contact on it, and it's a nice finish. Meslier, nothing he can do about it. What a response from Bournemouth. 5 goals he scored for Middlesbrough last season. Cross scooped in, came off a Leeds head, and Tavernier totally unmarked, inside left channel of the penalty area, right-footed, side-footed the ball, took it very, very well. It was probably just above knee height. Yeah, it was an awkward one. It took an age to fall for him, but he kept his eye on the ball, concentrating on that contact. He had to get his leg up really high to get that contact, and enough pace on it to take it beyond Meslier, who did get a touch to it. But it's an ideal response from Bournemouth, and it's no surprise when they get the ball wide with a target like Kiefer Moore, you have to put balls in the box, because he doesn't have to win them. He'll cause enough of a threat that Leeds will be forced into making mistakes.
Christensen now round the back, good sliding block challenge by Smith. So there we were, just making the point about the 3 defeats that Gary O'Neill has suffered. 2 of them by the single goal. They don't tend to suffer heavy defeats as they did before he took over, albeit it was Manchester City, Arsenal, and obviously that Liverpool game that we were talking about. But a great response by Bournemouth for the first ever top flight meeting between the 2 clubs. But Bournemouth have a truly dreadful record here at Ellen Road. They've lost all 7 of their previous visits, and they've failed to score in 4 of those 7, but not so today. Back level at 1-1. Grimsby 0, Plymouth 1 is the latest score in the FA Cup first round. MK Dons lead Taunton Town by 1-0. Weymouth 0, Wimbledon 1, and Buxton lead Merthyr Town also in the FA Cup first round by 1-0. And a goal elsewhere in the Premier League. It's at Molineux. John Hunt.
Wolves 0, Brighton 1. Adam Lallana with his first goal since March of last year. It was a nice finish, but in the early stages of this game, Wolves' defence all over the place. Lallana took the ball 12 yards out, right-footed, and he swept it into the back of the net. Terrible start for Wolves. Wolves 0, Brighton 1.
Trying the Rugby League, Katie Smith.
Yeah, England 38, Papua New Guinea 0. It's a hat-trick as well for Tommy Makinson, who normally gets booed here in Wigan as a St Helens player. Came by a captain's challenge too. Papua New Guinea thought the ball had gone dead. England said otherwise. Makinson put it down, and they have kept their challenge. 38-0.
Ball played forward. Commentary, remember, on that one is on Sports Extra. That was by Lewis Cook, a former Leeds United player. 85 appearances and 2 goals during his career. an England international, as Bournemouth really have got to be impressed with the way that they've recovered from that early setback, James McFadden.
Yeah, and even in that passage of play, they've got a chance to maybe clear it, and a team low in confidence maybe would just clear it up the park, but they don't, especially against a team like Leeds that want to come and press you. They knock the ball about, they're patient, they work it from left back out to the right wing area and get a throw in, and then they just start again. But a tremendous response, and just looking at the Bournemouth lineup, it's almost like a 4-4-2 they're playing. You know, Solanke up alongside Moore, Billing on the right hand side, Tavernier wide left, and you've got Smith playing as a left back with Fredericks as a right back. So it's a team that's wanting to go and try and win the game, which is what you want to see from a young manager trying to get a response out of his team. Better to say go and attack and go and try and put Leeds under pressure.
Wigan Athletic, 5 straight defeats. Indeed, they've lost 7 of their last 8 in the Championship, but they're leading at Swansea City. We'll try and bring in news of that goal when we can. Bournemouth, though, have a free kick. Penalty at Celtic, ready for sight.
And there was a VAR check that's been mysterious to us all, but it's resulted in a Dundee United penalty to be taken by Stephen Fletcher. He's eyeing up Joe Hart. He strikes it, it's in the net. Dundee United won and Celtic won, despite the fact that Celtic were off to such a vigorous start. We expected a cascade. It's 1 each.
And another goal at Molineux. John Hunt.
Equaliser for Wolves. Brighton were ahead for just 90 seconds, and this time it was Gonçalo Guedes. He was set loose down the right hand side, and he just kept going and swept the ball home from close range. Wolves won, Brighton won.
Bournemouth have a corner kick. Cook to take it, plays it in low, flicked on at the near post, and the header cleared off the line. It was an excellent work move by Bournemouth, and it was Strout who popped up with a goal line clearance with his head.
Oh, and he had to make it. It looks like a poor corner, but it's totally off the training ground. Low driven to the near post. It's flicked on by Mepham. And I think it was Solanke that goes for the header, and Strike, he has to get there because Melly is at full stretch. He's not keeping that out of the net. What a header, but well worked from Bournemouth.
It was just scooped up, lifted up at the near post. It was an excellent routine, and it almost reaped rewards for Bournemouth. Corner kick, far side the right, in it comes again, delivered low, cleared on this time by Cooper on the stretch. Grimsby have equalised in the FA Cup at home to Plymouth, 1-1. Tavernier with a cross into the penalty area. Cock clearance only as far as Mepham, shoots low, blocked, comes out towards Billing, down into the ground it goes, and eventually it's lifted away by Rocker. Bournemouth at the minute just causing Leeds United some problems, but now Leeds United go long. Somerville over the halfway line, handball, free kick it will be to Bournemouth. Let's get news of that goal then from Wigan at Swansea. Laura Kenyon.
Swansea 0, Wigan 1. The away side with the early breakthrough. Will Keane with a header from a corner, rose above everyone else to nod home against the run of play actually. Swansea 0, Wigan 1.
Ross County 1, St Mirren 0. MK Dons are leading Taunton Town by 2-0. They've never reached round 2. They're in the FA Cup first round for the 3rd time, and I don't think it's going to be a case of 3rd time lucky for Taunton Town of the National League South. Tavernier, who got the equaliser. There's a spring and a step of Bournemouth, James.
Yeah, there is. What a response it's been from going up goal behind. We spoke about maybe trying to keep Leeds at bay and try and quieten this crowd. Didn't go to plan. What a response. And now they are the team that are trying to take control of this game and really putting Leeds under pressure.
13 and a half minutes played. It's 1-1. Wolves 1, Brighton and Hove Albion 1. Goalless between Nottingham Forest and Brentford. What about Manchester City and Fulham? Mas Faruqi.
Still goalless here as well. Bit of a flat start by City by their high standards. Good chance for De Bruyne though, taking the shot on from the edge of the D, and Gundogan has flashed a shot wide as well at the right hand post. City 0, Fulham 0.
Let's get an update from Pat Murphy watching Forest Brentford.
It's 0-0, almost 1-0 over Forest, so excellent pass by Gibbs White, timed it perfectly. Johnson on his favoured right foot, cross shot, beaten away superbly by the keeper Ria. Forest 0, Brentford 0.
You're listening to BBC Radio 5 Live and the World Service here at Ellen Road, where Stockport leads Swindon in the FA Cup first round. Elsewhere, Middlesbrough 0, Bristol City 1. That's Michael Carrick's first home game in charge. Got a first win at Hull City in midweek, but Bristol City have taken the lead there. Tavernier dropping back in his own half, back to Smith, and the left wing back plays it all the way back towards Travers and now leaves the ball short. And it's with with Mepham to bring the ball forward. St Mirren have equalised at Ross County. Ross County 1, St Mirren 1. You're up to date. Ball now goes up towards Kiefer Moore, the Welsh international, right hand side, and coming across is Cooper. One challenge with his left foot and stabs the ball out of play for a throw.
They've got a real spring in the step, Bournemouth, haven't they? Ball goes forward, Billing just flicks it with the back heel. Kiefer Moore making that run. They just look like they've got so much energy and belief at the minute, Bournemouth. But Leeds, as shown with Somerville a couple of minutes ago, are still dangerous on the counter.
MK Dons have got a third against Taunton 3-0. In fact, no, that one hasn't been given. It's been cancelled out. But Boreham Wood are leading Eastleigh by a goal to nil. So Boreham Wood 1, Eastleigh 0. And in fact, it's now 2-0 to Boreham Wood at home to Eastleigh. Stoke City 0, Birmingham 1. And also in the FA Cup, Fleetwood 1, Oxford City 0. Could be a busy old afternoon with all those scores in the FA Cup first round. 16 minutes played, you're listening to 5 Live. Here is Lerma. Foul, says the referee, Tony Harrington. Challenge coming in from Aronson. And I tell you what, they're a big side, but before the free kick, a goal at the Etihad, Maz Farouki.
And it's come for City. Julian Alvarez with some great work, a run and then a shot that bounced in then off the underside of the crossbar. Really good bit of individual skill. City 1, Fulham 0.
So this free kick for Bournemouth, it's just under 30 yards out from goal. It's about 8 yards in from the left touch line. Bournemouth in their red and black striped shirts are playing from right to left as we look in the main stand here at Ellen Road. Solanke, Billing, Lerma, all targets to aim for. Tavernier goes straight down the throat of the goalkeeper Meslier.
Yeah, they've worked a few things, Bournemouth. You can see that they've been working on their set plays. Corner, quick free kick 5 or 6 minutes ago, and that looked well worked as well, where they're trying to maybe use Solanke as that target at the near post. Tavernier's just trying to flash that across to give him something to attack. He gets it wrong and straight into the arms of Meslier.
Christensen, forward ball, Rodrigo. Back it goes to Adams, forward ball. Harrison on the right hand side. Somerville's operating on the left here for Leeds United, all in white in these damp conditions, as Christensen waits and goes down the line towards Harrison, infield to Aronson, and then Adams wins it back for Leeds United, right corner of the penalty area. Harrison, Christensen, the two of them combine. Christensen tries to come on the inside, searching and pressing and really putting Bournemouth under pressure. Such an intense passage of play, that the way that Leeds United with their energy levels.
Yeah, it is. They work it down that right hand side, but they get so many bodies around that if they do lose it, then they're there really to quickly counter press and put Bournemouth under pressure. But Tavernier wins it back. On occasion Bournemouth have knocked it about and been a little bit patient, but he knows he has to clear it, and Kiefer Moore is aware of that as well. So for Bournemouth, if they're not going to keep it, if they're going to try and clear it and hit it up the line, great striker play from Moore to be on that side of the ball and just make sure that they don't lose the ball quick and allow Leeds to maintain that pressure.
Ebbsfleet leading Halifax by a goal to nil in the Cup. Chesterfield are 1-0 up against Northampton, also in the FA Cup. And you're up to date as the ball is cleared away by Senesi. Downward headed by Moore. Back towards Lerma. Nods it into the path of Billing. Little touch from Billing. And now it's with Fredericks. Just caught by Somerville. Out of play it goes for a throw. It will be a throw rather than a goal. Will stay in the White Rose County, but from West Yorkshire to South Yorkshire in the Championship. A goal at Rotherham, Tom Gale.
Rotherham 0, Norwich 1. Ian Timo Pukki's shot was blocked by the goalkeeper but headed home by Kenny McLean. It's Rotherham 0, Norwich 1.
Bournemouth have just gone 2-1 up. Tavernier pulls it back, and the player we've just been talking about, Billing, hits it first time, left-footed, rifles it past Meslier, and Bournemouth have come from 1-0 down to lead by 2-1.
That's a tremendous finish from Billing at the edge of the box, but before that it's far too easy for Bournemouth to get in behind. It's a long ball, great pass from Mepham in behind Christensen. Tavernier gets it early. I thought it took an age to get his shot away. I thought he could have taken it earlier. It bounces back, works its way to the edge of the box, and Billing just steps onto it with a nice side foot, plenty of power on it, just to put it into the top corner. Fantastic goal from Bournemouth's point of view. Far too easy for Leeds. They need to be defending that better.
Tavernier has scored one and has created one, but it was an excellent finish. Goal now at Nottingham Forest. Pat Murphy.
To Nottingham Forest, and Morgan Gibbs-White, who's been the best player so far. He made it himself, chesting it down 30 yards away. They weren't tight on him enough, Brentford. He wriggled his way through 3 defenders. Right foot shot. Fine individual goal, but poor from Brentford defensively. Forest 1, Brentford 0.
Stockport 2, Swindon 0 in the FA Cup. Boreham Wood 2, Eastleigh 1. Eastleigh have a goal back. Crawley 1, Accrington 1, and Wigan now leading 2-0 at Swansea City in the Championship. Well, we had a very entertaining game at Brighton last week on BBC Radio 5 Live and the World Service, with plenty of goals in the first half. We've had 3 inside the opening 20 minutes here. Somerville now coming forward on that left-hand side, gives the ball away. Cook, and he plays a diagonal ball inside towards Kiefer Moore. But Bournemouth look a very confident side.
Yeah, they do. They really do, and I think that's a testament to the manager and the players to not let their heads go down having gone behind. But what a response it's been, and a chance to see Billings finish again. What a finish it is. Easy just to smash that and go for power. He just side foots it right into the top corner. Melee with absolutely no chance.
And already you can sense that the crowd are just starting to get a little bit sort of like you can sense the apprehension.
Yeah, of course, you know that it's simple mistakes they're making, you know, not keeping the ball, and even when they win it back they're giving it away very quickly, but they've got a chance to break now.
Stroud inside to Aronson, he goes further infield to Harrison, back to Aronson, forward ball, Rodrigo edge of the area, it was a poor first touch, and it'll be Lerma back towards his goalkeeper Travers, who sweeps it away, all in yellow, away towards our right hand side. And don't forget, Bournemouth also had a goal cleared off the line, or a potential goal cleared off the line by Strauch, but have also scored the 2 as they are ahead here by 2-1. So Vicarage Road in the Championship, Will Perry.
Foul though as well, so whether both were the case, perhaps he might have been offside anyway.
I'm not too sure what that was. Let's get news of the goal from Swansea with Laura Kenyon.
Swansea 0, Wigan 2. Clinical Wigan, another corner, glancing header from Tom Naylor this time. Buried it beautifully for just his 2nd of the season. Swansea in total shock. They trailed 2-0.
Solihull Moors 0, Hartlepool United 1. Halifax 11 and Ebbsfleet also in the FA Cup. You're up to date with the goals as they go in on BBC Radio 5 Live. Leeds United, who'd made such the best possible start, looking to build on that excellent win at Liverpool last week with an early penalty, but have been pegged back. Here is Harrison turning. Lerma blocks it, breaks it up, and then Lerma, was he fouled? Yes, he was. The referee will give the free kick. Further groans around Ellen Road.
Yeah, the decision making's been poor from Leeds. You know, Harrison does really well, gets on the half turn. He's trying to play a reverse pass that isn't on. Rodrigo's in the middle, he's trying to reverse it down the side, and previously when Aronson fires the ball into Rodrigo, he'd peeled off Mepham. He just has to play it to his back foot and allow him to open up and get his shot away, and for some reason he absolutely fires it into him, and that makes it very difficult for him to control. He's in the box, just play it a nice weight and allow him to get his touch and shot away, and that's, you know, what Leeds just aren't doing well enough at the minute.
Adams wins that particular duel with Kiefer Moore. Cock with a clearance, and now it's with Rodrigo, who gets away from Senesi on the right touchline, runs in field, but the Bournemouth players, Lerma and Mepham, were back there, and it's Mepham's forward ball looking for the run of Solanke, and Meslier comes a long way out of his penalty area with the clearance. A goal at Cheltenham in the FA Cup. Aaron Paul.
Cheltenham 0, Alf Church 1. What a goal this is from the Minnows. Tyrell Skeen-Hamilton with some brilliant work. He fed Danny Waldron through. He had the confidence to bring the ball forward, take a touch and lash the ball into the corner past the goalkeeper. Cheltenham shell-shocked. Cheltenham 0, Alf Church 1.
96 places between them in the English pyramid. Leeds United are attacking. Rocker's ball in, headed away by Cook. Adams will try and collect it. Accrington are leading at Crawley by 2-1 in the FA Cup. As here is Adams, forward ball, then gets it back from Aronson. The Leeds supporters trying to get behind their team as Harrison to Strout, early ball in. Oh, that's sliced by Senesi, and it's gone behind, dropping behind for a corner kick. 2-1 Bournemouth.
Yeah, we're hoping that's not costly, because no need for that. It's good play from Leeds to get down the left-hand side, but there's one target in the box. It's only Rodrigo that can be picked out. Senesi has to be aware of that and get his clearance better. He slices it out for a corner. Now they have to go and defend the corner kick.
So Leeds United to take the corner. Harrison and Aronson are the two players away towards our right-hand side. Harrison runs over it, leaves it to Aronson. It's an outswinger, comes out as far as Adams, settles the ball down, plays it out towards his left-hand side. Rocker goes down the left side of the penalty area. Christensen with a cross. That was blocked and turned behind for a corner kick. Gateshead 0, Stevenage 1 in the FA Cup. Stevenage, who are going so well under Steve Evans, second in League 2. Gateshead are struggling a little bit in the National League under the former Newcastle United defender Mike Williamson. As Leeds 2-1 down, corner kick in front of that southeast corner. Take it short, work to Rocker, left corner of the area. Rocker tries to go the long way around Solanke, who blocks the cross, and behind it goes for another corner kick. In these wet conditions, the ball wouldn't quite run there for Rocker, so it's going to be another corner to Leeds United. And again, the short option is available to them. Bournemouth have every red and black striped shirt inside the penalty area. In it comes now, headed out by keeper Moore. Adams loses out to Lewis Cook. Good brave header by Cook, sets away the counter-attack. Tavernier looking for the run of Lerma. Lerma comes forward, Melié's out of his penalty area and gets there first, feet first. Bournemouth certainly were dangerous on the break there. Harrison now runs forward over on that far side, the left, midway through the Bournemouth half. Good to see Lewis Cook back to his feet as well. He had initially dropped to the floor. I think Adams is feeling the effects of that challenge as well, a little bit groggy. As Leeds United, Harrison, left-hand side. Good defending by Senesi, tight behind Rodrigo. Back then with Adams once more. Port Vale lead Exeter in the FA Cup by 1-0. And now it is with Cooper. We might be going to Mas Faruqi very, very soon for developments at the Etihad, but we'll wait with Somerville. Somerville with the cross, that was blocked. Strout picks it up just inside the Bournemouth half. Cross comes in from Strout once again. There's a penalty, Mas Faruqi.
And it's for Fulham, Ian, and in the absence of Alexander Mitrovic, Pereira is standing over the ball, ready to take this. Edison, though, a little bit of time wasting from the City keeper, isn't on his line yet. The penalty was given, João Cancelo, foul on Wilson. When Wilson was through on goal, he was the last man, he was brought down. Cancelo has been sent off, and Pereira is standing over this penalty. The referee blows his whistle, a stuttering run-up, and he scores, and Fulham have equalised. Pereira into the bottom left-hand corner. 10-man City 1, now Fulham 1 as well.
I think it's the second time that Cancelo has been sent off for Manchester City. I recall he was once giving his marching orders at Brighton. There's been a goal at the Valley in the FA Cup. John Southall.
It's gone to Charlton. Charlton 1, Colville Town 0. Good ball in there with Jack Payne 8 yards out to head in his third of the season. League 1, Charlton 1, Colville 0.
Bournemouth are in here again, and it falls to keeper Moore. And what a chance that was. Cross from the right by Fredericks. Flick on by Billing. Keeper Moore had all the time in the world, and in the end it looked a rather tame and weak shot, right-footed down into the ground for Melié to make the save.
What a huge let-off for Leeds. Again, direct from Bournemouth, great switch of play to Fredericks, and when it drops, Billing goes and challenges for it. When it drops to Kiefer Moore, he's got so much time, you just expect the back of the net to bulge. It doesn't, he doesn't catch it well enough, straight into the arms of the thankful and grateful Melié. This should be 3-1 to Bournemouth. That is an unbelievable opportunity for Kiefer Moore.
Well, you think of the chances that they've scored 2 goals, but allied to that, Strout with a goal line clearance and that golden chance for Kiefer Moore as well. That there should certainly be daylight between the two teams with the chances that Bournemouth have created.
Yeah, and you add to the one that Tavernier and Solanke on the 2v1 with Somerville. Tavernier gets it wrong, but Leeds have got a chance to hit back now. Aronson, right side of the penalty area. His cross takes a deflection. Rodrigo tries to get across his man at the near post. Cleared away though by Mepham, and out of play it goes for a throw. Certainly been a lively 29 minutes. Harrison back on the right hand side. Christensen to Aronson. Aronson turns, enters the penalty area, chips the ball towards the far post. Excellent defending by Fredericks on the cover, far post. Somerville running in. If Fredericks doesn't get there, you think Somerville's coming in on goal. Instead it's turned behind for a corner kick. Yeah, it's great play from Aronson down the right hand side, and every occasion up until now he's had one target. It's been Rodrigo, but Somerville does well to get into the back post, and you're spot on. Great defending from Fredericks.
So corner kick to Leeds United, far side the left. 2-1 down. In it comes, punched away by Travers. Collected by Somerville. Back in it goes to a crowded penalty area. Headed out by Solanke. Carlisle lead Tranmere by a goal to 0 in the FA Cup. We're going to get a Rugby League half-time in a moment. Harrison with the cross. Inside that penalty area, bounced away off the body of Cooper. Come in, Katie Smith.
England 38, Papua New Guinea 0 at half-time in their World Cup quarter-final. 7 tries for the hosts, a hat-trick for Tommy Makinson. Sean Wayne warned of this PNG side, and the majority of the final 10 minutes was played in England's half. They've got a lot to do, though, to overhaul the hosts. England 38, PNG 0.
Here is Aronson. Adams. Too many sons.
Leeds brought on an extra player there.
Yeah. Remember they used to have a manager called Adamson, didn't they? Here is caught. Ooh, that was a poor ball, very loose. Goes straight towards Solanke. Solanke now running forward, plays it out towards Billing. Billing's cross takes a deflection and goes behind. But again, they're looking a threat every time they come forward, Bournemouth.
Every single time they go on the break, they look like they could score. Leeds, when they go on the break, they've got one target in the middle, and if they don't find Rodrigo, they ain't going to score. But Bournemouth are looking dangerous. They're in control of this game at the minute.
Bournemouth are leading by 2-1, 14 minutes to go to half-time. Tavernier, who got the equaliser, is going to go across towards to take that corner kick, and he is in no hurry whatsoever. It's like he's having a stroll in Roundhay Park on a summer's afternoon. The trouble is, we're in autumn, and it's pouring down with rain, but he's still not bothered in the slightest, is Tavernier. Couple of steps back. Far side. Stuttering run up. Hits it now, curling in. Meslier does well to get something on it as he was under pressure from Moore. We'll go to Nottingham Forest, Pat Murphy.
1-0 to Forest, Gibbs White the scorer, and it could have been 2 up just now. Gibbs White again. Koyati was free, clear just alongside him. He went for the shot straight at the keeper. Koyati furious. He could have the penalty. Yates bundled up by De Silva. Seen them given, as they say. There's an original line for you, Ian. Forest 1, Brentford 0.
Cheers, Pat. Here is Leeds United with Rodrigo midway through his own half. Strout hits the ball early, looking for the run of Somerville. Cut out again by Fredericks. Ryan Fredericks, who they signed on a free from West Ham United. It's only his 8th appearance, but he's been very, very alert so far for Bournemouth. Koch, Christensen, back to Koch once more, but Bournemouth have dropped off. And now Kiefer Moore will decide to press on Rocker, who drops back, and that was again a poor touch by Strauch underneath his left foot, and out of play it goes for a throw. Billing has dispensed with the gloves.
I'm not sure about that. I don't think it's warm enough to be doing that, but just watching Leeds trying to build from the back. Bournemouth are sitting off, you're right, but it's Moore and Solanke when they're pressing as a 2. One of the midfielders for Leeds, whether it's Roca or Adams, should be on. They should be able to get it into them and get on the half turn and then try and build an attack. Everything they're doing at the minute is like they're in a rush, get it down the side for Somerville to go and chase, and they've not had too much success. Great goal they scored using that tactic, but they haven't been able to get any control of the ball in this game so far.
Penalty at Molineux, John Hunt.
2 Wolves, can they make it 2-1 to them? Neves to take it. We'll tell you about the controversy in a second. Neves here, and he puts it right down the middle, high, well over the despairing keeper Sanchez. So it's Wolves 2, Brighton 1. Neves the penalty scorer, but there'll be VAR controversy all about this one as well. Lewis Dunker judged to have handballed it in the area. He disputed that. It took a long time for Graham Scott, standing by the monitor at the side of the pitch, to give it, but give it he did, and Wolves are in front. Wolves 2, Brighton 1.
Newport 1, Colchester 0, Stockport 3, Swindon 0. 2 latest scores in the FA Cup first round. 11 minutes to go to half time. Manchester City 1, Fulham 1 is the latest score. Cancelo's been sent off. Forest lead Brentford by a goal to 0. And as we've just heard, Wolves 2, Brighton 1. Another goal at Celtic, ready for side.
Another goal for Celtic, this time Hansabanovic cutting in from the left after a corner kick, and he struck it past the goalkeeper. The goalkeeper got a finger to it, but it came in off the post ever so agonisingly for Dundee United. Celtic 2, Dundee United 1.
Stoppage in play here at Ellen Road, so we'll get an update. Watford Coventry, Will Perry.
Watford 0, Coventry 0. Keenan Davis had a goal ruled out for a foul in the build-up. Sema's free kick kept out by a scrambling Wilson who tipped it around the post, and at the other end top scorer Gyökeres denied by a decent backman save. Watford 0, Coventry 0.
Alf Church are leading at Cheltenham by a goal to 0. That is where the shock could be happening in the FA Cup first round as we speak. There's been a goal now at Burton Albion against Needham Market. Lee Blakeman.
It's gone Burton's way. Oshalaja with a tap in after poor Needham Market defending. It's gone with the balance of play, this goal as well. No upset at the moment. Burton 1, Needham Market 0.
Needham Market, who are managed by Kevin Horlock, who used to play for Swindon and Manchester City. Grimsby 2, Plymouth 1 is a latest score in the FA Cup first round. Blackburn Huddersfield in the Championship. John Bennett.
0-0. Blackburn in third are on top, but Huddersfield holding firm as things stand. Sammy Schmodik's the closest for Blackburn. His shot wide. It's Blackburn 0, Huddersfield 0.
Just under 10 minutes to go then to half time here on BBC Radio 5 Live, and it's with Leeds United in all white. Somerville inside to Adams pushed from behind by Kiefer Moore. Wales named their World Cup squad on Wednesday. Kiefer Moore, I'm sure, will figure in that for Rob Page. Gareth Southgate names his World Cup squad on the Thursday. Both will be covered, of course, on BBC Radio 5 Live. 2 weeks to go till the World Cup. Penultimate round of Premier League fixtures. Coverage of all 64 games on 5 Live and 5 Sports Extra in Qatar when it gets underway on November the 20th. Free kick though for Leeds, 30 yards out from goal. This is left of centre. Bournemouth have everybody back in a line, with the exception of 2 in a wall on the edge of their own penalty area. It's Harrison or Aronson who stand over this free kick. Harrison, left-footed, curls towards Cooper, gets his head on it, can't keep it down, and it drops over the top and out of play. It goes for a goal kick. Update now in the Rugby Union. Wales, New Zealand, Chris Jones.
And Wales have been taken apart here. They've had some bright early moments, but it's the same old story. Severe with the turnover, Papali with the break, Wales scrambling, Cody Taylor scoring, and then Wales, ill discipline, presented more field position for Taylor to burrow over again. The atmosphere completely flattened in here. Wales 0, New Zealand 17 after 20.
Well, it certainly feels a little flatter than in the atmosphere here at Ellen Road when you consider that Leeds United took an early lead. Here is Solanke coming forward. Solanke enters the penalty area, barged over by Christensen. They were looking for a penalty there, but just seemed to be a coming together more than anything else. But now the referee is surrounded by players from both sets, from both teams. James McFadden.
Yeah, good luck to the referee figuring that one out. I didn't think it was a penalty, I have to be honest. I think the Leeds players are maybe asking for an arm or an elbow in the build-up to the chance for Solanke. Kiefer Moore jumps and he does catch him in the face, and that's what the Leeds players are looking for. The Bournemouth players are looking for a penalty when it's never been a penalty kick.
Just
great
a
run,
shoulder barge.
Yeah, it was great run from Solanke, driving at the heart of the defence, opens his body up as if he's going to slot it with his right foot, drags it onto his left, overruns it slightly. Christensen comes in, it's shoulder to shoulder for me. No penalty kick, but two teams looking for something, and I think it's going to be a goal kick.
Yeah, after all that. Goal at Ewood Park, John Bennett.
It's Blackburn 1, Huddersfield Town 0, no surprise. The goal for Ben Brereton Diaz, ball over the top, cut back inside. Brereton Diaz, fine, right foot finish into the back of the net. They deserve that. Blackburn 1, Huddersfield 0.
I don't think Kiefer Moore's got anything to worry about here. I mean, I'm sure VAR would check as a matter of course, but the treatment is still being applied, but there doesn't appear to be any sense of jeopardy with this impending decision. No, I mean, he jumps and he does catch him. There's no doubt he catches him with his arm, but I think it's a natural motion for him to jump and use the arms as leverage. He is a big lad as well, so he is going to be up above most defenders. I would be surprised to see any punishment to Kiefer Moore for that challenge. It's Koch who's down, and quite rightly they're taking their time with him, with such a blow to the head. There's been a red card meanwhile in the Championship at Millwall. Flo Pollock.
Yeah, still goalless between Millwall and Hull, but Oscar Estepinian has been sent off for a high foot. He caught a Millwall player in the head with his foot. Referee didn't hesitate, straight red, but it's still Millwall 0, Hull 0.
That's Liam Rosenior's first game in charge after back-to-back defeats for Hull City. Still, Koch is getting treatment down below. Manchester City Fulham, Maz Faruqi.
40 minutes gone, still 1-1. You can always tell what Pep Guardiola is thinking, can't you? After that Cancelo red card, he's pacing his technical area, he's chuntering at the fourth official, he's shaking his head, but he hasn't yet asked Erling Haaland to warm up. Still 10 Man City 1, Fulham 1.
2 o'clock kick-off in the FA Cup. Bolton have got a goal back. Bolton 1, Barnsley 2, Gateshead 0, Stevenage 2 is the latest score. Here is Koch. Now we saw this last week, didn't we, with concussion. That is a lengthy stoppage for Koch. Common sense says take him off, give him treatment, make sure the welfare of the player is paramount, surely.
Yeah, there has to be something introduced here to protect the welfare of the players, as you say. Long stoppage, absolutely no doubt he catches one in the face, so you have to make the checks. But it's a long stoppage, and sometimes you can have delayed concussion, and it's something that maybe isn't noticeable straight away. You have to make sure that Koch's okay, because as a player you're going to say I'm fine. There's no doubt about it. Sometimes the decision has to be taken out of your hands, but there has to be the proper process to make sure that he passes every test to make sure he can continue.
We saw how Martinez struggled last week, Aston Villa at Newcastle, as the ball is played forward to Rodrigo. Rodrigo, right corner of the area, play back underway with Bournemouth still leading by 2-1. Barrow 0, Mansfield 1 is the latest score in the FA Cup first round. Here is Harrison, right hand side, level with the area, left-footed ball delivered in low, cleared by Lerma, nice little touch by Solanke, hit then early by Tavernier, who tries to switch play out towards that right hand side to Billing, and they'll be out of play. It goes for a throw. Let's get an update. Wolves Brighton, John Hunt.
Got 3 minutes of the first half left. Wolverhampton Wanderers 2, Brighton 1. Still all their murmurings about that VAR penalty. Did it strike Lewis Dunk's hand? Dunk's hand up in a very high, unnatural position. It took ages for Graham Scott to give it, but give it he did, and it was a second for Wolves. And that's the first time Wolves have scored 2 goals in a game since last season for 16 matches, first this year. So Wolves in front nearing half time. They lead 2-1.
And Lopetegui has performed a U-turn. Quite topical at the moment. Lopetegui will become the Wolves manager when the Premier League resumes after the World Cup, as Solanke was coming forward for Bournemouth. 2.5 minutes to go to half time. The Bournemouth supporters will be extremely happy as they sit underneath our commentary position here in the main stand. I never knew that Amanda Holden was a Bournemouth fan. That's what Tony Livesey claimed on Fact of the Day yesterday on Drive on 5 Live. He also claimed that she
was an Everton fan.
Well, he claimed that she once rode naked on a scooter around the town of Bournemouth for a £20 bet. But that begs the question, how much would Tony take to scoot naked around the streets of Burnley? We might get an answer next Friday on Drive. But here on 5 Live, with 2 minutes to go to half-time, we're going back to Molineux where there's been another goal. John Hunt.
Equaliser for Brighton. Kaoru Mitoma has just celebrated his call-up to the Japanese World Cup squad with a header at the far post. Lovely ball in from Lallana. Great work from him, but it was Mitoma, the equaliser. Wolves 2, Brighton 2.
Grimsby 3, Plymouth 1, Wickham 0, Walsall 1. 2 latest scores in the FA Cup first round. We're inside the 44th minute of this first half at Ellen Road on 5 Live. Strauch's high and forward on that far side, the left, in front of the east stand. Aronson now takes over and drifts to that area where Strauch was. Adams also drifting out towards the left. Also Somerville is there now, coming in off that left touchline, left corner of the area. Forward ball, Aronson off the chest, lays it back towards Koch, 30 yards out from goal, chips the ball forward, headed into the box by Christensen, headed out by Tavernier, who straight away is in pursuit of Christensen in a foot chase back towards the halfway line. The work off the ball by Bournemouth's been impressive.
It really has. When they've been on the break, they've gone in numbers, they've gone at pace, but against the ball they get back so quick, they close the gaps, they don't allow Leeds to play through them. Earlier on I says, can they get the midfielders on and try and use that overload? Bournemouth haven't allowed them. and the distance between the centre back and the further forward player is so tight that it's finding really difficult for Leeds to play through them. Invariably they go wide, they try and put crosses in the box, and they can't get enough bodies in the box to go and attack it. Really impressive from Bournemouth.
That's the voice of James McFadden, the former Scottish international, who's with us here at Ellen Road as Leeds United trailing by 2-1. Harrison's forward ball. Lerma breaks up the play once again, and now Solanke loses out to Adams, helped out by Koch, but Solanke wins it back. He's battling there against 3 white shirts. Now it's with Harrison who takes over, and he runs in field forward to Somerville. But they're lacking the creativity to try and break down this Bournemouth side, who every time they come forward carry the greater threat.
Yeah, for all the reasons I just mentioned, Bournemouth are working back to close those gaps. Leeds are still trying to play those little reverse passes, those intricate passes to try and break the lines. There's no lines to be broken, and every time they play it, Bournemouth have a player that's ready to go and put the pressure on. If Solanke makes a run to try and break down the left-hand side, Tavernier then fills into the midfield, they narrow up and they deepen and make sure there's no gaps to play through, but Leeds are still trying to play it. They don't have enough intensity in the play, Leeds, to really cause Bournemouth too many problems.
We're into 4 minutes of added on time. Exeter have equalised at Vale Park. Port Vale 1, Exeter 1. That was a nice little drag back by Billing. On the overlap was Fredericks with his cross. Tucked in was Christensen. Won back though by Cook in the midfield. Out it goes to Fredericks. Just wouldn't run kindly to him, and Leeds with the interception now can come forward. Somerville, who appeared to be checked by Lerma, and Lerma's going to get a booking here. It was a blatant check, and it's a yellow card shown to him by referee Tony Harrington. And Somerville has stayed down, and it will be a free kick to Leeds United on the halfway line.
That's a good foul. It's a good foul by Lerma, because Somerville taking a great touch, played it early inside. He was going for the 1-2, and Leeds did have the overload down the left hand side. Lerma knows exactly what he's doing, just stands his ground, allows Somerville to run into him, but he stopped the attack, he stopped the promising attack from Leeds down that left hand side.
Chippenham 1, Lincoln City 0, Fleetwood 2, Oxford City 0, Crawley 1, Accrington 3. Somerville is now getting treatment from the 2 physios, so we're looking at this stage of 2 potential upsets in the FA Cup first round, with Alvechurch and Chippenham ahead in their respective ties. Penalty at the City Ground, Pat Murphy.
To Brentford, and Mbeumo's going to take it. It's 1-0 to Nottingham Forest. Here comes Mbeumo, left-footed. It's now 1-1. Forest players and the fans are furious. Basically, Wissa took the ball past Henderson. Henderson stuck his hand out. I reckon he got a slightest touch on Wissa. He went down. Henderson still absolutely furious, having to be taken away from Andre Mariner, who referred it to VAR. Mariner wasn't happy, went to look at the monitor, which is always an ominous sign. He gave the penalty. Some might say that Henderson should have been sent off, but everybody now who wears red or supports red is absolutely furious at this decision. But the fact is, it's a penalty taken by Mbeumo. He's cancelled out Gibbs White's excellent early goal, and it's Forest 1, Brentford 1.
You wouldn't want Nottingham Forest to take your dog out for a walk, would you? They can't hang on to a lead. You think that they threw away a lead at, was it Fulham, Bournemouth? They're 1-0 up now against Brentford, and they've been pegged back once again. Swansea have got a goal back. Swansea 1, Wigan 2. Fylde 0, Gillingham 1 is the latest score in the FA Cup. You're listening to 5 Live, and I would imagine the 4 minutes of added on time have just been extended a little bit with that blow to Somerville, who's able to continue.
Top joke that, Deno, I have to say. You really tickled me, that one. I like that.
Here is Aronson sliding across with Senesi. Leeds keep it alive. Out to Rodrigo. Rodrigo with the cross. Fredericks tucked in. So compact, so well organised, that Bournemouth defence. Here is Rocker. Does a 360-degree turn just outside the centre circle. Little touch there by Harrison. But they're playing in front of Bournemouth at the moment. Rocker now hits it forward towards Strauch. Headed away by Fredericks. Helped out by Billing. And Leeds United can't recall too many occasions where they've actually got round the back of Bournemouth. Here is Aronson. Aronson with a shot. Blocked by Cook. So well drilled, this Bournemouth side. Stoppage time is over, and the boos will tell you everything about the scoreline, because the natives are restless and are certainly not happy. They took the lead with an early penalty from Rodrigo, but Bournemouth leading through goals from first of all Tavernier and then from Billing, but have created so many other better chances too.
Yeah, Bournemouth have been the better side. They've took real control of the game and making, forcing Leeds into making errors and then hitting them on the counter-attack. And when they go forward at such speed, intensity, intent to go and try and score. They look very dangerous, and they've just been really professional towards the end of the first half and seen the half out. They can go and recharge their batteries, looking to come out the second half and more of the same.
Half-time then at Ellen Road. Leeds United 1, Bournemouth 2.
Lucky for you, Ian, we don't have time to discuss how bad that joke was, because there's been a red card at Wolves. John Hunt.
Yes, which I'm assuming is just getting checked. The red card has gone to Wolves' Nelson Semedo. There was a high ball and it was a straight foot race on the left-hand side of the pitch between Mitoma and Semedo. Mitoma got first touch right out on the left-hand side of the penalty area. The ball was heading towards goal. However, Mitoma was taken out by Semedo, and Graham Scott has given a red card. We are still waiting. Semedo's in Scott's ear here, and he's told him to get off the pitch, and I can only assume, as it happened right on the edge of the area, Scott's now just waiting to see whether it might have been inside the area. So it's all happening here. Brighton 2, 10-man Wolves 2.
Into the FA Cup, there's been another goal at the Valley. Charlton against Colville Town. John Southall.
Right on half-time. Charlton 2, Colville 0. Corner from the left-hand side. Jayden Stockley totally unmarked, 8 yards out, headed in. Charlton 2, Colville 0.
So we've had a red card at Molineux. We had one in the first half at the Etihad. It's set up very interestingly. Maz Farouki.
Yeah, 10-man City 1, Fulham 1, Steve. I've no doubt that Pep Guardiola will be giving his players an absolute rollicking at half-time. They started the game strangely flat, City. There were murmurs and grumbles from the fans around me, but then Gundogan fed in Julian Alvarez for the opening goal, which bounced in off the underside of the crossbar, his shot, and it looked like it was going to be a straightforward afternoon. But then with Wilson through on goal, he was brought down by Cancelo. The City man was shown a straight red. Pereira, in the absence of Mitrovic, converted the spot kick. There have been good chances for a City second since then from Grealish. There was a header from Akanji, which Lino was very quick to. But Pep Guardiola is not happy, and at the moment this winning run here at the Etihad is coming to an end, 1-1.
So 2 Premier League teams down to 10 men. On another day, it could easily have been 3. Half-time at the City Ground. Forest Brentford, Pat Murphy.
1-1, yes, it could easily been Dean Henderson, the Nottingham Forest keeper, who went early, because he was adjudged courtesy of VAR to have brought down Wissa as he rounded him. So therefore, if it's a penalty, therefore why was the keeper not sent off? That seemed to be lost on the Nottingham Forest fans, who are absolutely apoplectic, as were the Forest players, including the aforementioned Henderson. But Forest should be ahead. Gibbs White gave them an excellent early start, a splendid solo goal. Gibbs White and Johnson very prominent, but then Wissa on a rare breakaway, and my word, they're missing Tony suspended up front. And from the resultant penalty, Mbeumo made it 1-1 just on the stroke of half-time. Forest need to channel that rage into positive areas rather than be distracted by Andre Mariner's perceived defects as referee. Forest 1, Brentford 1.
Let's see if there's any positive rage at the Principality Stadium. Men's Autumn International Rugby Union, Wales, New Zealand. Chris Jones.
Well, Wales responded brilliantly to those 2 New Zealand tries. A set-piece move from the line-out, slicing open the All Blacks defence for the debutant Rio Dyer to score. Wales needed that so badly. It got the crowd going. Anscombe converted, also kicked a penalty after a Tompkins break, but New Zealand have just got their 3rd try. Pinpoint crossfield kick, plucked up the air by Geordie Barrett. Wales 10, New Zealand 22 with the kick to come as we edge towards half-time.
And the half-time whistle has now gone at Molineux. John Hunt.
Extraordinary half. It's Wolves 2, Brighton 2. Lallana with the opening goal for Brighton. Guedes equalised a minute later. Then Neves with that penalty. Mitoma's header made it 2-2. And Semedo's just been sent off for Wolves as well. We've had a little bit of everything, or rather, I should say, a lot of everything. It's Wolves 2, Brighton 2.
A little bit of everything at Celtic Park in the first half. Ready for side?
Yes, indeed. Celtic 2, Dundee United 1. We had VAR checks, one of which led to a penalty kick. Mysteriously, as far as most people on the ground were concerned, because we can't see replays. Turned out it was off Bernabeu's elbow, although I understand it was very difficult to see how he could have avoided it. Anyway, Stephen Fletcher took that after a lengthy check and scored, and that equalised. Haksabanovic opener for Celtic after good work by Hattati and Jota. And then Said Haksabanovic with a touch which really might not have gone in, but for the fact that Birigiti didn't make a proper contact on his save, and it trickled in off the far post. Bit of a bummer for the goalkeeper, although he'd had long treatment after a collision with Giacomakis. Celtic 2, Dundee United 1.
Celtic going 7 points clear at the top as it stands in the Championship. Blackburn trying to head into the top 2. Half-time at Ewood Park. John Bennett.
Yes, Blackburn 1, Huddersfield Town 0. Blackburn back up to second as it stands on their 147th birthday. Ben Brereton Diaz with the goal 10 minutes before half-time. Running onto a ball over the top. He cut back inside, placed it low past the keeper. Top finish. Had been a frustrating match for Blackburn before that. All the possession, all the threat. Very little creativity, but Brereton Diaz, his 9th of the season, has piled more misery on bottom of the table Huddersfield, who haven't really tested the Blackburn goalkeeper. Blackburn 1, Huddersfield Town 0.
Half-time at the Liberty Stadium. Swansea Wigan. Laura Kenyon.
Swansea 1, Wigan 2. Swansea, the playoff chasers, pulling one back just before half-time. Ryan Manning, lovely strike to find the bottom corner. A moment of brilliance in an otherwise lacklustre Swansea performance. Wigan, 5 defeats on the bounce going into this. Both goals headed home from corners. Will Keane, Tom Naylor, still on course to stop the rot. Swansea 1, Wigan 2.
To Loftus Road. Queen's Park Rangers, West Brom. Jonathan Overend.
0-0 at half-time. Not without entertainment, but certainly no goals. West Brom started the stronger, and Diangana missed an open goal on just 4 minutes, but then QPR came more into it, and their best chance was when Lyndon Dykes forced a smart save by Alex Palmer in the West Brom goal. Half-time 0-0.
Norwich on course to go 4th in the Championship. Half-time in their game at the New York Stadium. Tom Gale.
Rotherham 0, Norwich 1. The visitors on course for a 5th straight win here at the New York Stadium, Steve. Kenny McLean's first goal of the season came after Pukki's deflected shot found the Scot unmarked to head home from 2 yards. It's the game's only effort on target. Rotherham striker Connor Washington forced off injured after 35 minutes. His replacement, Georgie Kelly, lasted barely 5 minutes more before pulling his hamstring, leading to another change. Half-time, Rotherham 0, Norwich 1.
It's half-time at Vicarage Road. Watford Coventry. Will Perry.
Watford 0, Coventry 0. Keenan Davis thought he'd tapped Watford in front, but it was ruled out for a foul in the build-up. Wilson tipped a semi-free kick around the post. His counterpart, Backman, keeping out Gyökeres at the other end. The Swede also flashed an effort across the face of the Watford goal. Sheafs drilled one over from outside the box, and Panzos volleyed over the bar for the visitors. End-to-end, but Watford 0, Coventry 0.
Liam Rossini's first game in charge of Hull City's been made a little bit difficult in the first half at Millwall. Flo Pollock.
It has, and it's not a classic really, Steve. Half-time, Millwall 0, Hull 0, and we've had a red card here too for Hull's Oscar Estepinian. He was trying to bring the ball down out the air, his foot was high, he caught Millwall's Creswell in the head, straight red. It's going to be a tough second half for the 10 men of Hull at the break. Millwall 0, Hull 0.
Other scores in the Championship at half-time. Blackpool 0, Luton 0. Middlesbrough trailed by a goal to 0 to Bristol City in Michael Carrick's first home game in charge. It's Stoke 0, Birmingham 1. Sunderland 0, Cardiff 0. Into the FA Cup, there could be a massive story at the World of Wild Stadium. Cheltenham Town against the lowest ranked team, Alvechurch. Aaron Paul.
Cheltenham 0, Alvechurch 1. The Minnows ahead here, courtesy of Danny Waldron's goal. Tyrrell Hamilton set it up. He felled Waldron through down the middle. He took a touch, advanced into the box and fired past the goalkeeper. Since then, Wade Elliott, the Cheltenham boss, has abandoned his game plan. He sacrificed a defender for a forward. James Olayinka has gone closest to the home side. His shot saved well by Daniel Jezef in the Alvechurch goal. Caleb Taylor nearly caught his goalkeeper Luke Southwood short with a poor back pass. That could have been 2. He had to rush back to hack that off the line. So half-time, the cup set very much on. Plenty to do for Cheltenham because Alvechurch of the Southern Premier League lead here by a goal to 0.
There could also be a shock on at Chippenham. Chippenham of the National League South, who have never been to the second round of the FA Cup, lead League One Lincoln by a goal to 0. Chances of a shock at Charlton, slim. John Southall.
Very rare now. Charlton 2, Colville 0. Colville can't have too many complaints. Charlton have dominated. 2 goals, 2 headers. The first, Jack Payne nodding in, a Campbell cross, and then Jayden Stockley right on half-time, totally unmarked, 8 yards out. Couldn't miss it to make it 2. Colville have had one chance at 1-0. It fell to Ashley Chambers on the back post, but he volleyed into the side netting. Good opportunity that. But the Colville fans have been boisterous. And Steve, we have a team with numbers 1 to 11 on their backs. Haven't seen that in years. Charlton 2, Colville 0.
Thank you, John. What about Needham Market? We spoke to their manager, Kevin Horlock, earlier today. They are at Burton Albion. Lee Blakeman.
Yeah, Burton 1, Needham Market 0, and Burton completely deserved that lead too. Oshalaja got the goal, a shot from close range after some poor defending by the non-league team. Needham Market keeper Marcus Garnham, primary school teacher day-to-day, had done well just before that to deny Lakin and Adebayo, but no upset on the cards here at the moment. Burton 1, Needham Market 0.
Right, deep breath. Here are all the other scores in the FA Cup. In the games that have finished, South Shields, managed by Sunderland legend Kevin Phillips, 0. Forest Green Rovers 2. Harrogate beat Bradford City in an all-League 2 affair. Bolton 1, Barnsley 2 is a full-time score. Gillingham are a goal to 0 up at AFC Fylde. It's 0-0 in the game between Barnet and Chelmsford. Mansfield lead by a goal to 0 at Barrow. It's Boreham Wood 2, Eastleigh 1 at half-time. Bristol Rovers 0, Rochdale 0. Merthyr Town are 1-0 down at Buxton at half-time. Carlisle 1-0 up against Tranmere. Chesterfield lead by a goal to 0 in their game against Northampton. Accrington Town are 3-1 up at Crawley. It's 0-0 in the games between Crewe and Leyton Orient and Doncaster Rovers and Kings Lynn. It's 1-1 at the break in the game between Ebbsfleet and Halifax. Oxford City trail 2-0 at Fleetwood Town. It's Gateshead 0, Stevenage 2. Grimsby Town 4, Plymouth Argyle, who are flying in League One, 1. Maidenhead United 0, Dagenham and Redbridge 0. MK Dons 2, Taunton 0. Newport are 1-0 up against Colchester. It's Peterborough United 0, Salford 0. Port Vale 1, Exeter City 1. Shrewsbury 2, York City 1. Solihull Moors are 1-0 down to League 2 strugglers Keith Curle's Hartlepool United. It's Stockport County 3, Swindon Town 0. Sutton United 0, Farnborough 0. Weymouth 0, AFC Wimbledon 1, and Wickham 0, Walsall 1. Let's go back to the Rugby League World Cup. It's live on BBC One as well. England, Papua New Guinea on Sports Extra. Katie Smith is watching.
Yeah, England 42, Papua New Guinea 0 in this quarter-final. What a match it's been, Steve, for Tommy Makinson. A 4th try of the afternoon for him. England, they're really having to work and build to finally secure the 4 points wide out on the left. This is probably the game we were actually expecting in this half after that blistering 40 minutes. So much closer now. I'm not sure the crowd like it so much. It's gone a bit quiet. I think they're getting used to a try a minute. But England now 15 minutes away from a place in the semi-finals.
In the Scottish Premiership, we've already told you Celtic lead Dundee United by 2-1. The other 3 o'clock kickoff, Ross County 1, St Mirren 2. So as it stands, St Mirren will be going 4th in the Scottish Premiership table. The leaders in the Scottish Championship, Ayr United, are drawing 1-1 at half-time with Morton. It's Inverness 0, Arbroath 0. Partick Thistle going 2nd as it stands, lead Dundee by 2-0. And it's Wraith 1, Hamilton 1. In Scottish League 1, Clyde United 0, Airdrieonians 0. The leaders Dunfermline also drawing 0-0 at Falkirk. FC Edinburgh 0, Queen of the South 1 is a half-time score. It's Kelty Hearts 0, Alloa 1 and Montrose 0, Peterhead 0. And in Scottish League 2, Albion Rovers 1, Stirling 0. Bonnyrigg Rose are 3-0 down to Elgin City at half-time. Dumbarton 1, Stranraer 0.
Catch me if I fall.
And the players are back out on the pitch at Ellen Road. We're bringing you all the goals as they go in during commentary of Leeds United against Bournemouth. Let's rejoin your commentary team, James McFadden and Ian Dennis.
My mate Des agrees with you, by the way, Steve.
Awful.
He said it was a pathetic joke.
Don't think I didn't hear producer Gary Flintoff's charity laugh in the background.
my laugh was absolutely genuine. I thought it was brilliant.
Yeah, well, you should know better.
By the way, if you want to have some really bad jokes, I'm here all day. Anyway, back to the serious business, and Leeds have made a change, and Jack Harrison has come off, and Wilfred Gnonto has come on. He made an impact last week, of course played a part in the late winner for Somerville at Anfield, so he's come on for what is his home debut at the start of this second half. You're listening to BBC Radio 5 Live, where it's Leeds United 1, Bournemouth 2. Leeds are in all white, they're defending the south stand, they're attacking the Kop end here at Ellen Road. So from right to left, they have Meslier in goal, a back four of Christensen, Koch, Cooper and Strauch, a midfield of Rocker and Adams with Aronson, Gnonto, Somerville and Rodrigo. Whereas Bournemouth, in their red and black striped shirts and black shorts, Travers is in goal. They've got Smith on the left-hand side. Just wait, because Leeds United are attacking. In comes that cross, headed out by Mepham. So you're looking, as the wall has been won back by Christensen, and an excellent bit of defending by Senesi. So Fredericks is on the right, Mepham, Senesi, Smith, Tavernier at times can fill in as on that right-hand side as well. Lerma, Cook and Billing, Solanke and Kiefer Moore. But Senesi, that was a vital intervention with an outstretched left leg. Corner kick to Leeds United. They scored very, very early on. The rain's still falling. Corner for Leeds on the right. Stood up towards the far post and headed away by two Bournemouth players, Billing and then Lewis Cook. James McFadden.
Straight away from Leeds, when the ball's going into the box, they've got more bodies in there. Gnonto's joined with Somerville and Rodrigo, and giving them a better chance when the ball comes in. And the cross that does come in, it's a great take from Senesi, because it's gone straight to Rodrigo. Likelihood is he would score, the form that he's in. Great block.
So Leeds United have another corner kick. It's on this left-hand side. Barras Rocker, left-footed shot blocked. Strauch tried to flick it on, headed away by Billing. Lerma leaps in the air but doesn't really get a connection. But now plays the ball out towards Billing, and Bournemouth can break, and Tavernier's over the halfway line. Tavernier on that far side, the left, now makes his way into the penalty area with a low cross. Solanke, what a finish by Solanke! Left-footed, fractionally behind him, but is able to guide the ball into the bottom right-hand corner. It was a devastating counter-attack by Bournemouth. They now have a cushion. They were 1-0 down, but Bournemouth, who've never won at Ellen Road, are leading by 3-1.
What a finish from Solanke, and it's again down that left-hand side of Bournemouth, and Tavernier, he's breaking forward. Christensen's miles away from him. It's Rocker that's trying to get back, and he fires the ball across. It looks like it's gone behind Solanke, but he just improvises. Clever little back heel into the side netting. Tremendous finish from Solanke. A devastating break down that left-hand side again. But when the ball comes into the box, he's got options again. So, Tavernier down the left. Bournemouth have bodies in the box, and what a finish it is from Solanke.
The more you look at it, the more you appreciate it.
I thought it was behind him, but he actually makes the run so that he can perform the finish like that. It's a brilliant finish from Solanke.
A goal at Vicarage Road now in the Championship. Watford, Coventry, Will Perry.
Watford 0, Coventry 1. Allen's pinpoint cross from the right. Victor Gyökeres hit it first time into the ground past Backman from close range. 6th of the season for the Swedish international. Watford 0, Coventry 1.
Middlesbrough are level also in the Championship at home to Bristol City, and Michael Carrick's first home game there at the Riverside. Akpom scored in midweek, and he's levelled early in the second half at the Riverside. 1-1. And it's extremely flat Ellen Road now, but the supporters will get agitated, because this was, well, many people, and I've got to hold my hands up, I thought this was a home banker here today. I really did.
Yeah, I think people, particularly Leeds fans standing up here, would have expected that as well, and especially add to the fact that they went ahead early But the reaction from Bournemouth has been sensational. It really has. That they've played really well. Leeds, I don't think have offered enough, if I'm being honest. They haven't. They've tried to change it, and I know it's really early in the second half, but it's still the same problem down that right hand side for Leeds. Tavernier has got all the space in the world down the left hand side for Bournemouth, and that was potentially the change that maybe had to happen for Jesse Marsh.
Solihull Moors have equalised at home to Hartlepool in the FA Cup first round. Jesse Marsh is now getting a talking to from the fourth official. He's got the anorak on now, the padded jacket if you like. He was rather casual with his navy sweater earlier. Keeper Moore just getting a little blow to the face. The ball is lifted forward by Roca, and now after it is Nonto on that far side, the Italian international, and he was clipped there by Tavernier. And it's a free kick, and in his haste he wants to get the ball back. He wants to try and get things moving for Leeds United, who are trailing by 3-1. Now my understanding is, even if Leeds United hadn't have lost at Liverpool last week, the board were still behind the manager Jesse Marsh. But in his own words, it was necessary to stop the bleeding. That was what Jesse Marsh said with that win at Anfield. It could just reopen a few old wounds if it stays like this, and that's a waste of a free kick. And you can hear the reaction from the Leeds supporters. A lot of boos, a lot of cheers. Let's get an update from Wolves Brighton with John Hunt.
Still 2-2 here. We've only just finished now we've only just started the second half. Just a tactical change. Johnny is on for Podence, and now Wolves 2 lines of 4 with only Wang up front, trying to hold on already. I think Wolves 2, Brighton 2.
The 3 results in the early kickoffs in the FA Cup first round: South Shields 0, Forest Green 2, Bradford City 0, Harrogate Town 1, Bolton Wanderers 1, Barnsley 2. That was a 2 o'clock kickoff, that last one, where the upsets could be happening. We've got Cheltenham 0, Alv Church 1, and Chippenham Town 1, Lincoln City 0. Now here, Rodrigo has just gone down, and a yellow card has been shown. Is that to Kiefer Moore? No, to Mepham. Chris Mepham, the Welsh international, joins Lerma in the book. James.
Yeah, he's just leading with the arm over the top of Rodrigo. Good decision by the referee. And again, you know, I thought it was actually over the back. It comes into the side, but he's definitely leading with the arm, Mepham. But Leeds were looking to break again, and it's another foul that stopped the game for Bournemouth.
Free kick taken by Adams to Strout, plays it in early. Somerville, no way through. That was Mepham and Fredericks. Somerville was caught there and he stayed down. Mepham's just been booked. Bournemouth try and win the ball back. Smith digs it out towards Tavernier on that far side. Flick on header by keeper Moore, and it's now with Billing, who's putting pressure on Strout. Back towards Meslier. Somerville is still down as the ball is still in play at the moment, and keeper Moore's going to run it out of play for a throw, and a hobbling Somerville is back to his feet. Another goal at Rotherham in the Championship, Tom Gale.
Equaliser for the hosts, Ian. Rotherham 1, Norwich 1. Norwich gift the ball to Ollie Rathbone, drives towards goal, edge of the box, defenders back off, slots it into the bottom corner. Rotherham 1, Norwich 1.
Roca has come off and Sam Greenwood has come on. Let's get an update in the Rugby League World Cup. It's the quarter-final, England, Papua New Guinea. Katie Smith.
Well, I was going to just tell you about a Papua New Guinea try. Finally, they get on the scoreboard, but England just scoring again. A 5th try for Tommy Makinson. That's a record for an England player in an individual match. So it's England 44, Papua New Guinea 6, and we've got 5 minutes left to play.
The Women's Rugby Union World Cup. England early in the early hours beat Canada. They've set up a meeting now against New Zealand in the final. You'll hear that on 5 Live next Saturday morning. Christensen on the attack with the cross, well claimed by Travers. A goal at Charlton in the FA Cup, John Southall.
Hold on a minute, Charlton 2, Colville 1. Brilliant finish from Ashley Chambers. Loved the goalkeeper from 14 yards out in front of the delirious away supporters. Is it on? Charlton 2, Colville 1.
Barnet 1, Chelmsford City 0 is the latest score in the FA Cup. Sunderland 0, Cardiff 1 is the latest score in the Championship at the Stadium of Light. You're listening to 5 Live. Aronson coming forward for a Leeds United side all in white who are 3-1 down. Nonto, the Italian international, in towards Greenwood. Snuffed out on the edge of the area, up towards keeper Moore, and the referee was actually given an earlier free kick for Bournemouth deep inside their own half. Crawley 1, Accrington 4 is another score in the FA Cup. And a goal at Rotherham.
The visitors are back in front here, and Rotherham 1, Norwich 2, level for less than a minute. It's Aaron Ramsey with a simple tap in from 5 yards out. Rotherham 1, Norwich 2.
Thanks, Tom. Tomorrow, 5 Live, Premier League Sunday from 12. Aston Villa, Manchester United, commentary from 2. Tottenham, Liverpool at 4:30. Southampton, Newcastle going so well under Eddie Howe. That'll be on the BBC Sport website. Leeds are on the attack, right hand side. Rodrigo with a cutback, edge of the area, cleared away by Cook, only as far as Nonto. In comes the cross, takes a deflection off the head of Senesi, and it's looped behind, and it has gone behind despite the best efforts of Travis for a corner kick.
And the fans singing and marching on together, just giving Leeds a lift here. But I have to say, Bournemouth, when Leeds are on the attack, it looks like it's a dangerous attack. They just get everyone back, and they get back at speed to snuff the chances out. Really impressive.
Referee has just spotted a little bit of pushing and shoving in the penalty area. He's calling Rodrigo towards him. Billing is also there. Steadying word from Lewis Cook. Tony Harrington, the referee, the man in the middle, still talking to Rodrigo. Seems a long time now when he fired Leeds ahead in the 3rd minute from the penalty spot. Find themselves 3-1 down now. So in front of the Revy stand, the Cop End here at Ellen Road. Corner from Greenwood, the substitute. Downward header by Cock and easily claimed by Travers. Gateshead have got a goal back in the FA Cup at home to Stevenage. Gateshead 1, Stevenage 2, Ross County 2, St Mirren 2 is the latest score in the Scottish Premiership. What about Manchester City? A chance to go top, down to 10 men, remember Mas Farouki.
Still 1-1, 58 minutes played. The biggest cheers for some time coming for Erling Haaland, warming up at the start of the second half here in front of me, but the rain continues to fall as City continue to be frustrated. 10-man City 1, Fulham 1.
Just over half an hour to play. There's still time for Haaland to come off the bench and grab a hat-trick. Manchester City 14 straight home wins as they're being held by Fulham. Clearance from Smith on that left-hand side of the Bournemouth defence. A lot of urgency from the men in white here at a wet, damp, miserable Ellen Road. Throw from Christensen. Bournemouth win the ball back, and it's Tavernier who'll win a goal kick. Now, there was a potential upset at Cheltenham. There's been another goal in the FA Cup, Aaron Paul.
Oh, it is on, Ian. Cheltenham 0, Alf Church 2. This is brilliant work from the Minnows once again. And it's Tyrell Skeen Hamilton, who's fired his initial shot against the post. The goalkeeper, Luke Southwood, beaten. And the tap in for Danny Waldron at the back stick, just to fire Alf Church 2-0 up. Cheltenham 0, Alf Church 2.
Alf Church from the Southern League Premier Central. 2-0 up at Cheltenham. 96 places difference between the two in the English Pyramid. There are 78 places from Lincoln City in League One to National League South Chippenham Town, who've never reached round 2 before. 4th time in the first round today, but Chippenham are still leading by a goal to 0. 5 Live in the World Service here at Ellen Road, where Bournemouth, Lerma, was he caught late by Adams? The referee says yes, he was. That'll be a Bournemouth free kick inside their own half. Just getting a little bit fractious, Nonto and Tavernier, and the referee tells Nonto to walk away. Blackpool 0, Luton Town 1. Luton 3 without a win, are leading at Bloomfield Road in the Championship. The goals as they go in, the usual goal service on this Saturday afternoon, and we'll get an update from Nottingham Forest Brentford with Pat Murphy.
It's still 1-1. Forest not as fluent as they were in the early period of the first half, when they were very impressive. That penalty awarded against them just before half-time seems to have taken the wind out of their sails, and I have to say there's 1 or 2 players on both sides trying it on with Andre Mariner now, trying to get some favourable decisions from the beleaguered referee. Forest 1, Brentford 1.
Leeds United on that far side, the right, playing from right to left. Adams in the centre circle to Cooper, plays it forward towards Strout, the left back. Somerville on this near side. had suffered 3 straight defeats before this game. You think the work he did beforehand after taking over from Scott Parker, unbeaten in 6, and this would be an excellent result. Christensen with a cross to Somerville, controls the ball, tees up Strout with a drive, strikes the back of Mepham, comes to the edge of the area. What a fine goal that was! That was a super hit, and Leeds United have got a goal back, and it's with Greenwood. What a fine goal, edge of the area. Sam Greenwood with his first goal for Leeds United. Left-footed curling effort, gave Travers no chance. Leeds United 2, Bournemouth 3.
What a goal it is. What a cultured finish. It's good play from Leeds. Spoke about it in the first half. Can they get bodies in the box? When it's crossed into the box, they do. And when it's laid back to strike, I think he actually catches it well. It's on target. And when it comes to Greenwood, he looks like he has so much time to compose himself. He just steps onto it with a side foot from about 20 yards and whips it beyond Travers and the Bournemouth goal. Absolutely no chance with it. What a goal from Leeds United, and they're well back in this game now.
You tell me, obviously, as a professional, but he didn't seem to panic. Rather than, he didn't snatch at it, he waited, was composed.
Yeah, that's exactly it. I thought he was going to step onto it and maybe get his shot away, but what composure to then execute it. It was a bouncing ball. It wasn't rolling nice for him. It was an awkward ball for him to step onto it and whip it with the power that he did. Phenomenal.
Here is Greenwood again. Drives it in low, wraps it into the feet of Rodrigo. Breakaway for Tavernier. Greenwood back, snapping at his heels. Christensen, they can't get hold of Tavernier. What a run this is from Tavernier. And in the end, yes, he was caught. And a yellow card is shown to the Leeds United defender, Rasmus Christensen. That was a strong, powerful run with the ball at the feet from Tavernier to take the ball away from danger.
Yeah, he's been a threat throughout, hasn't he? And it takes 2 of them to stop him. Great run from Tavernier, just shrugging defenders off. But I have to say, I didn't think it was a foul at the time. The chance to see it again, I still don't think it is.
Stockport 4, Swindon 0, Ross County 3, St Mirren 2, Wickham 0, Walsall 2, and also in the FA Cup, Ebbsfleet 2, Halifax 1. We'll get a full time in that Rugby League World Cup quarter-final after, in the swirling rain in West Yorkshire, after this free kick for Bournemouth, who lead by 3-2 midway through the Leeds United half. Quite a high line from the men all in white. Cook leaves it, Tavernier takes it, left-footed, edge of the area, repelled by Leeds United. Bouncing ball that Somerville heads it away. Nonto's also there. Tavernier wins it back. Leeds United, though, force Bournemouth to go back. So full time at Wigan. Katie Smith.
England 46, Papua New Guinea 6. There's a huge rainbow arcing over the DW Stadium. England can follow it now to the World Cup semi-final. They put the game away in the first half. Tommy Makinson, the 5-try hero. Next up, Tonga or Samoa at the Emirates in a week's time.
Rodrigo with a chance there. Played in, inside left channel of the penalty area. Couldn't keep it down, right-footed goal kick.
That's a great break from Leeds. They win the ball back. Great inside channel run from Rodrigo. I thought he was going to hit the shot with his left foot. I think, although it's a tight angle, I think he's got the ability to trouble Travers in goal there on the left foot. He cuts inside, tries to wrap his foot round it and bend it into the far post, and he just hits it straight over the bar. But so much better from Leeds. They're asking so many questions of Bournemouth. They're putting them under pressure, and the Leeds players will have it in their mind that Bournemouth threw away a 2-goal lead last week.
Yeah.
That will give them a lift. I have to say also, sorry for the rant, the Leeds support have played their part, because there was a lull in the game. They started singing, they got behind their team, the team's responded, and they're getting the rewards for it. Can they go and get that equaliser, potentially go and win the game?
Yeah, Bournemouth were 2-0 up against Tottenham inside 49 minutes last weekend. Spurs came back, won by 3-2. Bournemouth were leading 3-1, but certainly that goal from Greenwood on the hour has set up what could be a really, really great finish for the last 26 minutes. Goal in the FA Cup at Cheltenham. Aaron Paul.
Cheltenham have one back. Cheltenham 1, Alvechurch 2. Ryan Jackson with a cracking finish at the back post. Caught it on the half volley. Nothing the goalkeeper could do about it. Cheltenham 1, Alvechurch 2.
Ross County 3, St Mirren 2. Wickham 0, Walsall 2. Ebbsfleet 2, Halifax 1. You're listening to 5 Live in the World Service. Leeds United now coming forward. Christensen inside to Greenwood. To complement Jesse Marsh, the changes have certainly appeared to have made a difference. The introduction of Nonto at half-time and Greenwood too for Leeds United. Free kick though goes in favour of Bournemouth. Let's get an update from the Etihad. Maz Faruqi.
Still 1-1, but the big man is on. Haaland has come on for Alvarez. Phil Foden for Jack Grealish as well, as City search for a second. But still though 1-1 between 10-man Manchester City and Fulham.
There's a player down. It's Ryan Fredericks, so there'll be a stoppage in play. You're right about the Leeds support, James, because we sensed at times at the first half they were booed off, they were jeered off, could easily have turned, and yet the backing now all of a sudden, at times you wouldn't know the 3-2 down.
No, you wouldn't, and you know that's why I mentioned it, because there was a lull in the game. They actually started the second half pretty well. Okay, it was only for a couple of minutes, but then they go 3-1 down, and the fans they show their voice. They let the players know they're behind them, and the players have got a response from that. And now there's a real belief, you can feel it filtering around the stadium, that they can go and get that equaliser, potentially go and get the winner.
Bournemouth 3, Eastleigh 1, Grimsby Town 5, Plymouth 1, Carlisle United 2, Tranmere Rovers 0. Latest scores for you on 5 Live. Where will we go now then here on 5 Live? And it's to Millwall against the 10 men of Hull City after Estupiñán was sent off. Flo Pollock.
Still Millwall 0, Hull 0, and Millwall did have the ball in the back of the net, but it was ruled out for offside. And you talk about Leeds getting behind their side. Well, the Millwall fans are getting very frustrated at their side for not taking advantage of playing against 10 men. As it stands, still it's Millwall 0, Hull 0.
In the FA Cup where the shocks could be happening, Alvechurch are 2-1 up at Cheltenham. Chippenham still lead Lincoln City by a goal to 0, and Gateshead, who were 2-0 down at home to Stevenage, have equalised at the International Stadium. Gateshead 2, Stevenage 2 is the latest score in the FA Cup first round. Now, Leeds United, Somerville on this near side, the left, plays it forward, Billing with the interception, and he runs it out of play for a throw, which Strauch will take. And now it's with Cooper to Greenwood. Greenwood across towards Koch. Over on the far side, Christensen waits. Christensen. Every outfield player now is in the Bournemouth half as Leeds United attack from right to left. Cooper, and all of a sudden it's Leeds United who are starting to dictate. Somerville just in from the touchline on the left-hand side. Frederick backs off him, back pedal. Somerville continues to take him further back inside his own half, into the penalty area. Chip ball headed away by Fredericks. Watchful defending. One back, Greenwood.
Fredericks was down a minute ago looking for treatment. I would be giving Somerville the ball till he's fed up seeing it, because he's struggling here.
Port Vale 1, Exeter 2 in the Championship. Stoke 0, Birmingham City 2. Corner kick to Leeds United. It's Greenwood to take it. They're 3-2 down at home. Greenwood delivers it deep towards the far post. Cooper with a header! Leeds United, who were 3-1 down, have levelled at 3-3. Leon Cooper, his first goal since December 2020, and we're back level pegging. What a game, 3 apiece.
And it's the first good ball that's been put in from a set play for Leeds, something that they can go and attack, and it's Liam Cooper showing so much strength. It's a high ball to the back post, he just holds his man off, makes sure he gets a good contact on it. Goalkeeper, no chance of keeping that out, in between the legs. And Leeds, you felt it building, you felt the momentum coming with them, and they've now got control of this game.
Should the keeper have done better, James?
I'm not sure, because it's a downward header, it's straight at his feet. It's too quick for him to try and adjust towards it. I would more put it down to a good deep ball to the back post, good connection from Cooper, and exactly what you want. Downward header, ask a question to the goalkeeper, and he couldn't come up with the answer.
Here, Leeds United, the pendulum has certainly swung in their favour. What momentum. Somerville coming forward now. There's a stoppage in play, and quite rightly it's keeper Moore who's gone down with a head injury, so there has to be a stoppage in play. Surely that's common sense from referee Tony Harrington. But what a finish that we've got now, with Greenwood making it 3-2, and Cooper 7 minutes later, midway through the second half. You feel the momentum is with the home team. Let's get an update from Watford. Will Perry.
Watford 0, Coventry 1. Sars just missed a sitter for Watford. Kamara's cross from the left. Sar unmarked. Empty net. Volleyed over in the 6-yard box. Slaven Bilic heading for a 4th defeat in 8 games. This would take Coventry up to 15th. They were rock bottom last month. Watford 0, Coventry 1.
Bristol Rovers lead Rochdale by a goal to 0 in the FA Cup first round. Hartlepool United are back in front. Solihull Moors 1, Hartlepool United 2. Let's get an update from Wolves. John
Wolves 2, Brighton 2, but McAllister's free kick has just been superbly saved. What a good game this is. Wolves trying to hold out. Danny Welbeck now on for Brighton. It's still Wolves 2, Brighton 2.
Just listen to the atmosphere inside Ellen Road. At times it's referred to a bear pit. Everybody singing, marching on together. And Leeds certainly now sense a winner. Ball played forward. Nonto with the cross. Corner kick. Bournemouth are going to have to dig really, really deep.
They are, and it's not a noise, it's a feeling in this place. It is so loud, it goes through your body. Incredible reaction from the crowd. It spurred the players on, there's no doubt about it. And Leeds will be going hunting for that winner now.
3 apiece. Corner kick to Leeds United. Far side. Cock tried to attack it, headed away well under pressure by the Bournemouth defence. Moore was back there helping out. Aronson plays it in, headed away by Billing. Somerville flicks it out towards Nonto, diminutive figure, Italian international with the cross, header from Rodrigo, penalty spot area, backing away from goal, and it was a drifting header that was always going away from goal. And we'll get an update in the Rugby Union Wales New Zealand. Chris Jones.
It's all happening here. Wales 23, New Zealand 34. Looked like the All Blacks had wrapped it up. Brilliant solo try, Aaron Smith. Justin Tipperick scooted over, just about kept it under control to get Wales back in it. Smith has scored again though to burst Wales's bubble. Wales 23, New Zealand 34. Kick to come.
Weymouth have equalised in the FA Cup. Weymouth 1, Wimbledon 1. You're up to date. The goals as they go in on BBC Radio 5 Live. As Bournemouth play the ball back towards Travers. MK Dons 4, Taunton 0 is the latest score in the FA Cup, and there's been a goal at Queen's Park Rangers against West Brom. Jonathan Overend.
We have the breakthrough after 67 minutes. It's West Brom who take the lead here in West London. Kyle Bartley heading in from John Swift's free kick. QPR 0, West Brom 1.
Jesse Marsh is getting a little bit aerated, should we say, in the technical area down below, as Bournemouth are going to be making a change, and Stacey is going to be coming on for Fredericks. So that change will be happening very, very soon here for Bournemouth. Really have come under some strong pressure, James.
They have. I mentioned Leeds having it in their minds that Bournemouth surrendered a 2-goal lead last week. Likewise, Bournemouth would have had that in their mind as well, not to be giving anything away, and they haven't been able to offer as much of a threat going forward, and that'll be disappointing for Gary O'Neill.
That change is going to happen, and we will take that as an opportunity to get the team news from Everton, Leicester City with Alistair Bruce-Ball.
Changes here, 1 for Everton, a first start for Dwight McNeil in 4 games. Anthony Gordon drops to the bench. 2 changes for Leicester after their defeat to Manchester City last week. Chalar Soyuncu and Jamie Vardy drop out. They revert to a 4 at the back. Boubakary Soumare returns to the midfield. Wilfred Ndidi amongst the substitutes, and Patson Daka starts up front.
As I arrived at Ellen Road today, in fact we just finished filming for the 5 Live social, the little video that we do for the 5 Live Sport Twitter feed. Lerma plays it in. That was an intelligent dummy, that by Billing. Lets it run through. Stacey with a substitute. Oh, what a chance that was! First touch of the ball, right-footed across the face of goal, out for a goal kick. Beautifully played in by Billing, and Bournemouth had another opportunity. It remains 3-3. We'll go to the Etihad. Maz Farouki.
City have a second, and guess who scored it? Erling Haaland heading in with a lovely ball from the left from Kevin De Bruyne. City 10-man, Manchester City 2, Fulham 1.
But I was reminded that it was 22 years ago yesterday, the 4th of November in 2000, that Leeds beat Liverpool by 4-3. Mark Viduka scored all 4 goals that afternoon. Bournemouth, meanwhile, their one's looking for the 4th goal. Here is Cook, a former Leeds player. It was a sensational atmosphere, I recall, that particular day. And it will be matched, I would imagine, if Leeds were to come from 3-1 down. As Stoke City have got a goal back in the Championship. Stoke City 1, Birmingham City 2. Stevenage are back in front at Gateshead in the FA Cup. Gateshead 2, Stevenage 3. Bournemouth are on the attack. Header cut out by Cooper. Bournemouth are just starting to get back into the game. It's become a little bit more even now.
Yeah, it has. It's sparked them into life. You know, Leeds drawing level, and I felt in the first half that they almost as if they were happy to go in 2-1 up. And I thought, if you can go and get that other goal, try and knock the stuffing out of Leeds. As it happens, they get it early in the second half, but they've certainly sprung back into action in this second half now.
So 3-3. Here is Stacey. We're going back to the Etihad. And in fact, we can bring in Maz Faruqi now.
That Haaland goal's been disallowed, Ian. His right leg was marginally offside as the cross came in from Kevin De Bruyne, so it's been scrapped. It's still Manchester City 1, Fulham 1.
Bournemouth have the worst defence in the Premier League. It was a joint record they held with Nottingham Forest coming into to today's games. Forest, though, 1-1 at home to Brentford. And Bournemouth shipping 3 here means they've conceded 31 goals, but they have scored 3, and they're looking for a 4th. Stacey with a cross, right-hand side. Headed away by Christensen. Picked up by Tavernier for Bournemouth in their red and black striped shirts, playing from left to right. And how long do we have remaining? 15 minutes remaining. However, there's been a goal at Nottingham Forest now. Pat Murphy.
It's gone to Brentford. It's been scored by Wissa, who's playing up front for the suspended Tony. A long ball caught Forest napping, and there he was, quick out the blocks, and his lob beat Henderson. So they've turned it round from 1-0 down just for half-time to beating Forest 2-1.
Manchester City 1, Fulham 1. Nottingham Forest 1, Brentford 2. City, by the way, down to 10 men. Cancelo sent off, and it's still Wolves 2, Brighton 2. Semedo dismissed for Wolves. 3-3 here. A few firework puns, I would imagine, for Gary Lineker with the amount of goals tonight on Match of the Day.
Yeah, I would
I'm
imagine
not cracking
so.
any more jokes, by the way.
On. Was that one there?
No, my fingers have been burnt. Here is Cooper. Plays it forward towards Strout. I just thought that was actually quite pleased with that. Here is Strout, midway through the Bournemouth half. Greenwood to Christensen. Leeds United have every outfield player in the Bournemouth half. Here is Cooper once more. How long do we have? Just 14 minutes remaining. Strout lets it come across his body, put out a play by Mepham. Strout will take the throw, 10 yards up from the corner flag, back towards Somerville. Billing tries to close him down. Somerville towards Aronson, back with Cooper, hits it left-footed across towards Koch, controls the ball right-footed. Christensen pushed up on that far side, the right, level with the penalty area. Greenwood's made the run ahead of him. Christensen holds on to the ball. Greenwood gets himself back on side, delivers the cross high into the air, headed out by Stacey. Somerville for Leeds United, dispossessed by Billing, runs away from him. Strout keeps the ball in play. Somerville wants it, helps it to Adams. Early ball into Aronson. Good footwork by Aronson. Closed down very, very well by Senesi. Sensed the danger, dealt with it effectively. Corner kick, 3-3.
That's great play from Leeds in that left-hand side. When it comes back to Adams, the first time pass, perfect weight to Aronson, and you just expect him to get onto that right foot, curl it into the far post, but it's a tremendous block from Senesi.
They look so much more of a threat second half, Leeds United. Greenwood to take the corner kick. Players jostling for position in the penalty area. Greenwood in towards the near post, flicked on by Strout, couldn't keep it down. Well over the top of the crossbar and out for a goal kick. So, back to the FA Cup we go. Cheltenham, Aaron Paul.
Cheltenham 1, Alvechurch 2, 20 to go here, Ian, and the home side have had plenty of opportunities to equalise. Both Ollie Inca and Ryan Broom have fired volleys over the bar. Ryan Broom's with the goalkeeper miles off his line. Cheltenham 1, Alvechurch 2.
Tomorrow, 5 Lives, Premier League Sunday from 12. Aston Villa, Manchester United at 2. Tottenham, Liverpool at 4:30. Southampton, Newcastle at 2 o'clock is on the BBC Sport website. Mark Chapman and the Monday Night Club, naturally on Monday from 7. Tuesday, 3rd round of the Carabao Cup. Manchester City, Chelsea's our commentary on Wednesday. At Old Trafford Thursday. Manchester United against Aston Villa. So much live football to look forward to on BBC Radio 5 Live over the coming days, as we edge day by day towards the World Cup in Qatar, where all 64 games will be on 5 Live or Sports Extra. But this is the Premier League and it's 3-3, and we could yet have a 7th goal of the afternoon. Somerville can't control that diagonal ball from Christensen, sliding across with Stacey. It'll be a Leeds United throw down by the corner flag. James McFadden.
He does really well in the end, Somerville, because he takes a poor touch but he doesn't give it up. Manages to get a touch, draws Stacey in for the challenge and gets the throw in.
Newport County 2, Colchester United 0. Oxford City have got a goal back at Fleetwood in the FA Cup. Fleetwood 2, Oxford City 1, Carlisle 2, Tranmere 1. Mickey Mellon's side also have a goal back. Cox spreads it out towards the far side, the right, taken quite high on the chest by Christensen. Up against Smith, double deflection off the legs of Smith, behind for another corner kick, and Leeds United are still knocking at the door.
Yeah, they are. They've really stretched the game. They're holding their width, trying to draw Bournemouth in so they can get the switch of play, and it's come off on a couple of occasions.
Leeds United 4 without a win at home in the Premier League since they beat Chelsea. Looked bleak for them when they were 3-1 down. They're now level at 3-3. They have a corner kick. Greenwood to take it. Far side the right. It's an outswinger. It's deep. Headed back by Cooper. Strout rises in the air. Caught with a turn. Deflected behind for another corner kick. Bournemouth really up against it. 3-3. Just over 10 minutes remaining.
Oh, what a header from Cooper. He's at full stretch. It's another high deep cross. Does so well to get it back into the danger area. Again, Bournemouth get the block on it.
MK Dons 5, Taunton 0 in the FA Cup first round. So we've got 10 minutes remaining on BBC Radio 5 Live. Really enjoyable game. Corner kick, Greenwood to take it in towards the near post, headed out by Solanke. A couple of fireworks are actually literally being set off outside the ground. There was a little bit of a thud there. They're looking for the thud of the ball entering the back of the net as Leeds come forward again with Nonto to Greenwood. Does a little step over, left-footed cross, blocked again well by Tavernier. Bournemouth trying to keep Leeds United at bay. Elsewhere, remember, Manchester City, who were looking to go top of the table, but being held by Fulham. They're down to 10 men. Nottingham Forest 1, Brentford 2, Wolves 2, Brighton 2, and there is activity down below. And it is going to be Rodrigo who's coming off, and Gelhardt is going to be coming on. And I've got to say, whenever I've seen Joe Gelhardt, he's a youngster who makes things happening.
Yeah, he's definitely come on to get the winner. He is. He's an exciting young talent. Be hoping for an impact.
Let's go to Molineux. John Hunt.
13 minutes to go. It's still 2-2 here between 10-man Wolves and Brighton and Hove Albion. McAllister's had 2 direct free kick, 1 save, 1 wide. Brighton searching for that winner, can't find it. It's Wolves 2, Brighton 2.
Still Manchester City 1, Fulham 1, Forest 1, Brentford 2. It's 3-3 here at Ellen Road. Gelhardt wants the ball from the throw into the penalty area, holds it up for Aronson, down by the byline, into the penalty area left-hand side. Back it goes to Strout, delivers the cross. Christensen rises too early. It'll be caught by the goalkeeper Travers, who drops to his knees. Right, we've got 2 latest scores in the Scottish Premiership. Celtic 2, Dundee United 1, Ross County 3, St Mirren 2. I'm going to attempt to give you the latest scores in the FA Cup first round. Sports Report coming up with the results and the reaction here on 5 Live. This might take some time. Here is Lerma midway through his own half. Was he impeded? The referee says not. Cook has it for Bournemouth. The 3 results in the Cup: South Shields 0, Forest Green 2, Bradford City 0, Harrogate Town 1, Bolton 1, Barnsley 2. Moore turns, caught from behind by Adams, free kick. So we'll make inroads now. Files 0, Gillingham 1, Barnet 1, Chelmsford City 0, Barrow 0, Mansfield 1, Borehamwood 3, Eastleigh 1, Bristol Rovers 1, Rochdale 0, Burton Albion still lead Needham Market by a goal to 0. Buxton 1, Merthyr Town 0, Carlisle 2, Tranmere 0, goal at Charlton, John Southall.
Surely game over. Charlton 3, Colville 1. Jack Payne with his second of the game, turned on the left of the area and finished into the bottom.
Lake Norient is goalless, as is Doncaster Rovers and Kings Lynn. Ebbsfleet 2, Halifax 1, Fleetwood 2, Oxford City 0. In comes the free kick from Bournemouth by Cook, headed down by Leeds, and a break is on, and it's Nonto over the halfway line. Nonto running forward, he's got options left and right. One of them now is through the middle. Somerville! What a break by Leeds United! Sheer delirium inside Ellen Road. What a fight back! They were 3-1 down. They now lead by 4 goals to 3, and Ellen Road has gone berserk, and it's Somerville again. What a break! 4-3 Leeds United.
What a special goal that is. Absolutely incredible from Nonto, running almost the length of the park. That was the easy part. Great run from Somerville. Can you find the pass? perfect way to pass, allowing Somerville to step onto that and hit it first time beyond Travers. What a goal from Leeds, and what a turnaround it's been in this game. Second half performance from Leeds has been outstanding, and they deserve to be in front in this game. What a goal, what a game of football we've had today.
He becomes the youngest Leeds United player to score in 3 successive games in the top flight since Alan Smith. And Somerville at it again, and Leeds United have performed a fine fight back in this second half to leave Bournemouth shell-shocked. But we talked before about the Bournemouth counter-attack. That was just scintillating from Leeds.
Devastating, and quality as well. Speed and strength from Nonto. Incredible run from Somerville, and that is a difficult pass. He's played that with the left foot into the path of Somerville, who only needs to step onto it. I say only needs to step onto it. It's still a really composed finish, but a devastating counter-attack.
The substitutions have certainly worked. Leeds United have been excellent in this second half. Solihull Moors 2, Hartlepool United 2, Fylde 1, Gillingham 1, Fleetwood Town 3, Oxford City 1. They're the latest scores in the FA Cup. Is a breathless Ellen Road.
It's been incredible, it really has. The game sprung to life in the second half for Leeds and the home fans. The singing, the support from this home crowd has been sensational second half, and the players have responded to that. You felt as though it was coming. You felt as though they were getting control in the game, and to score a goal like that to put them ahead, devastating counter-attack.
Ayling's going to be coming on now, Luke Ayling, and he will be replacing Brendan Aronson. So that is a defensive move that is being made by Jesse Marsh. Leeds United haven't won back-to-back games in the league since March. Norwich and Wolves. When you're down at the bottom, to get back-to-back wins, every manager will tell you, is pivotal.
Oh, of course it is, and to do it under the circumstances, because first half Bournemouth were by far the better side. They were getting too much time and space, they were creating openings, they were exposing Leeds on the counter-attack. Jesse Marsh has made a few changes at half-time. The players have responded to that, and they deserve to be in front. They really do, and shown great character to come back in, take control of this game and get themselves in the lead.
Maidenhead United 0, Dagenham Redbridge 1 is the latest score in the FA Cup. There's now been a goal in the Premier League. It's at Molineux. John Hunt.
Wolves 2, Brighton 3. Heartbreak for Wolves. Pascal Gross after some lovely intricate play by Brighton. It's Wolves 2, Brighton 3.
Stacey on the attack for Bournemouth, and he will get a throw right down by the corner flag. Kings Lynn Town are leading at Doncaster, the National League North leaders. Tommy Widrington, ex-Southampton, their manager. They are leading at League 2 Doncaster by a 1-0 in the FA Cup. Swansea City 2, Wigan 2 is the latest score in the Championship. Sutton United 0, Farnborough 1 is the latest score also in the FA Cup. So a number of shocks are on the cards. Rothwell and Stanislas wait to come on for Bournemouth. Billing with the throw, attacked by Lerma, and run away out of the penalty area by Nonto, and another break is on here. Nonto full of running, surrounded by 4 Bournemouth players, and against all odds he wins a throw for Leeds United. He is going to be one popular figure here at Leeds United, I can guarantee you that.
Yeah, I think he already is, and it's great play. You look at the eye-catching stuff, taking players on, laying on assists, scoring goals, but when you're a dribbler and someone that can run with the ball, that's equally as important. Get your team up the pitch, get throw-ins, get fouls, take the pressure off and gain territory. Fantastic. He's only young, already a full international. Nonto. There is a lot ahead of this guy, and these fans will absolutely love him.
Stanislas has come on for Bournemouth, and that was to replace Billing. And then the other change was only a second appearance for Joe Rothwell. They signed on a free from Blackburn, and he has come on for Senesi. But it's Leeds United who lead by 4-3. Certainly the blue touch paper was lit here at Ellen Road, and the Leeds United players responded in the second half. 4-3, and they're looking for more goals. And it's with Greenwood carrying the ball to the heart of the Bournemouth defence. Mepham looks like he's struggling. Not running too freely at all there, Chris Mepham, with the Wales World Cup squad to be announced in midweek on Wednesday. You would hope that that's nothing serious, because any injury now, just a muscle strain with the World Cup so close away, could really put a kibosh on the chances of a number of players. Port Vale 2, Exeter 3 is the latest score in the FA Cup, as marching on together reverberates around Ellen Road. And we will go for news of that goal at Swansea with Laura Kenyon.
Swansea 2, Wigan 2. Joel Peru with the equaliser from the penalty spot, placed it low and into the corner. The ref giving it after Kyle Norton was brought down in the box. Swansea making a habit of coming back from behind, 2-2.
Gary Flintoff is a better man than I am, my producer, because I hadn't got a Scooby-Doo as to where we were up to in the FA Cup latest scores when Leeds broke for that fourth. But it's Grimsby 5, Plymouth 1, Maidenhead 0, Dagenham and Redbridge 1, MK Dons 6, Taunton 0, Newport County are leading Colchester 2-0, Peterborough 0, Salford City 0, Port Vale 2, Exeter 3, Shrewsbury 2, York City 1, Solihull Moors 2, Hartlepool 2, Stockport 4, Swindon 0, Sutton 0, Farnborough 1, Weymouth 1, Wimbledon 1, Wickham 0, Walsall 2. Let's get an update from Aaron Paul at Cheltenham.
Cheltenham 1, Alvechurch 2. Cheltenham now down to 10 men, not because of red card, because of an injury. Ryan Jackson taking a real bad knock over on the far side. He's had to hobble off, doesn't look in a good state, and Wade Elliott's problems deepen. Cheltenham 1, Alvechurch 2.
Manchester City in the Premier League missing the opportunity to go top of the table as it stands, being held by Fulham 1-1, Forest 1, Brentford 2, Wolves 2, Brighton 3, 4-3 here to Leeds United as we enter 5 minutes of added on time. Goal at Celtic, Roddy Forsyth.
And Dundee United have equalised. There was some confusion about who got it, whether it was Dylan Levitt and Tony Watt. Tony Watt has been given credit for it on the agency copy at the moment. It was a brilliant move from the left, close range header, and it shocked Celtic Park 2 each now. Celtic Dundee United.
Excellent result for Sheffield United. Paul Heckingbottom's team beating Burnley by 5-2. The leaders then seeing their unbeaten run in the Championship of 16 games come to an end. Latest scores in the Championship: Blackburn 1, Huddersfield 0, Blackpool 0, Luton Town 1, Middlesbrough 1, Bristol City 1, Millwall 0, Hull City 0, Queen's Park Rangers 0, West Bromwich Albion 1, Rotherham 1, Norwich City 2, Stoke 1, Birmingham 2, Sunderland 0, Cardiff City 1, Swansea Wigan 2-2 as we've heard, Watford 0, Coventry City 1. You're up to date. Sports Report on its way. Bournemouth, who are now 4-3 down. Stacey, right hand side, sends over the cross. Meslier makes the save, high, and goes to the ground. Another goal at Celtic, Roddy Forsyth.
Unbelievably, Celtic have scored in the last minute, and this time it was Kyogo Furuhashi, close range header, and Celtic Park, those that haven't made their way to the car parks, go wild. It's Celtic 3, Dundee United 2.
7 points clear. Rangers play at St Johnstone tomorrow. Wales, New Zealand in the rugby. Chris Jones.
8 minutes to go, but this one's all over as a contest. Wales 23, New Zealand 41. 6 tries for the All Blacks, the latest by the brilliant Ardy Surveyor. The Wales fans in here have seen this film before. New Zealand just way more clinical. Wales 23, New Zealand 41.
Gelhardt putting pressure on Lerma. Penn back in. Did it go behind? Not for a corner, but it went for a throw. They were booed off at half-time, the Leeds United players, by the supporters here at Ellen Road. They will be cheered to the rafters at full-time if it stays like this.
Oh, of course they will. Such a poor performance the first half. As I said, I keep saying it, the crowd responded, the players responded to that from the crowd. They will be cheered off. There is good ways to win a game when the game's finished. It's not enjoyable at the time, but they'll certainly enjoy this today.
Ironic chant of Leeds. Leeds are falling apart again from the home supporters. When they got that win at Anfield, it was more than they gained in their previous 8 games. Now they're going to get their first win at home in 5. There's a penalty at Manchester City. Maz Faruqi.
In the 95th minute, it's for Manchester City. Erling Haaland just placing the ball on the spot. A reminder, he had a goal what he thought was a winner for City about 15-20 minutes ago. Ruled out, he was marginally offside, but he has a chance to win it here for City in the dying seconds. They're just lining this up, this penalty right now. As the referee now blows his whistle. Erling Haaland stepping back, preparing to take this run-up, to take this penalty. And he scores! And City won it right to the end. 10-man Manchester City 2, Fulham 1 in the 95th minute.
Manchester City then going top of the table. Leeds United keeping the ball. And it's with Somerville, the match winner, to Gelhardt. Gelhardt turns, shoots, takes a deflection, goes away from goal, and it's going to run behind for a throw right down by the corner flag. Another goal at Celtic, Roddy Forsyth.
Another goal in injury time, another goal for Celtic, another goal for the substitute. Lee Labada coming in, chipping the goalkeeper. Celtic Park is bedlam. Celtic 4, Dundee United 2.
Chippenham Town have knocked out Lincoln City in the FA Cup first round by 1-0. Crewe are now leading against Leyton Orient by 1-0, and Charlton lead Coeville by 4-1. Sports Report on its way. And also Manchester City, who before that Haaland went, failed to convert 25 of the 80 penalties. I think that ratio might somehow change when Erling Haaland is on the pitch. That's his third penalty as Manchester City lead Fulham by 2-1 and will be going top of the Premier League. Forest 1, Brentford 2, Wolves 2, Brighton 3, 4-3 here to Leeds United. And by my watch, we've still got 30 seconds remaining of the 5 minutes of added on time. Buxton 2, Merthyr Town 0 in the FA Cup first round. Bournemouth have it. Ball played out towards Smith. Far side the left. Diagonal ball blocked by Greenwood. You will know when it's full time, because Ellen Road will erupt. Barnet 1, Chelmsford City 1 in the FA Cup. Ball hit long by Bournemouth. Too long. Right down by Meslier. And the cheers will tell you that Leeds United safely in the hands of Meslier. What a turnaround. Meslier waits. Referee Tony Harrington has a look at his watch. By my watch, the 5 minutes are up. The 5 minutes, a minimum of 3. The referee blows his whistle. They hoped that Anfield would be a turning point for Leeds United, and they've certainly turned it around here today. Back-to-back wins in the Premier League for the first time since March. And what a win for Jesse Marsh, beating Bournemouth by 4-3. James McFadden.
What a game of football. What a game of football. The old game of two halves. Bournemouth really good in the first half. Leeds come out with a response with this unbelievable crowd backing them to get the win, and it's the young players that come on and make a difference. This Leeds team's full of young players in their early 20s, in their teens. The future's bright for Leeds, there's no doubt about it.
Well, Bournemouth were 3-1 up. Rodrigo gave Leeds an early penalty, but then we had goals from Tavernier and Billing, 2-1 up at half-time. Solanke's beautiful finish early in the second half, they were 3-1 up. But then Greenwood and Cooper, and then Somerville with a dramatic winner. Breathless stuff here at Ellen Road. Leeds United 4, Bournemouth 3.
And there's more drama at the City Ground. Pat Murphy.
Late equaliser for Nottingham Forest. Gibbs White right on the stroke of full time. Concerted build up, the ball ricocheting around. We are waiting now for a VAR decision. No change there then, but I'm fairly sure that Gibbs White has made it. Forest 2, Brentford 2.
And Manchester City have done it. Maz Faruqi.
He left it late, but the super sub got the win for Manchester City. City awarded a penalty in the 95th minute after De Bruyne was brought down by Robinson. Haaland scoring it to give the City the win right at the end, and they go top of the Premier League table.
Every single game has been tremendously dramatic this afternoon, including yours at Molineux, John Hunt.
90 seconds of added time left. Wolves 2, Brighton 3. Looks as though Pascal Gross's 5th goal of the season is going to put Brighton into 6th place. Wolves still struggling. Wolves 2, Brighton 3.
19 goals in the 4 games in the Premier League this afternoon, and there are more late goals going in. Let's take you into the FA Cup. There has been a very, very late goal in the FA Cup, and it has come at Burton. Lee Blakeman.
And it's Burton 2, Needham Market 0. The final whistle's just gone. Burton deserved the win. Needham Market did themselves proud in their debut in the first round, though. Goals from Daisy Oshalaja in the first half, then Joe Powell with the last kick for Burton. Close contest, no upset. Burton 2, Needham Market 0.
What about Alv Church? The fairy tale story. They're still playing in that game at Cheltenham. Aaron Paul.
And they're clinging on for dear life despite Cheltenham being down to 10 men because of Ryan Jackson's injury. Cheltenham 1, Alv Church 2. We're into 6 minutes of added on time, and the 1500 to my right are making loads of noise.
What about Coalville? Has their fairy tale story come to an end? I think it has. John Southall.
It has. Charlton 4, Coalville 1. Spirited in the second half, though. They were 2 down at half-time. Ashley Chambers pulled one back on 52 minutes. They ran out of steam, though. Jack Payne with the 3rd, Cheksanike with the 4th, and the 47 winners are through. Charlton 4, Coalville 1.
Back to the City Ground, Pat Murphy.
Just confirming the final score, Forest 2, Brentford 2. But the key moment right at the end, Gibbs White shot, scuffed his shot. It went in off the substitute for Brentford, Zanka. Gibbs White will change it, will challenge that and claim it. But the fact is, it's finished Forest 2. Brentford 2.
And we're finished now at Molineux, John Hunt.
And it's finished. Brighton get the spoils. Wolves 2, Brighton 3. The Wolves players sink to the ground here. New manager coming in, of course, Lopetegui. Much to like, but they just couldn't withstand the late pressure of Brighton. Pascal Gross with the winner. It's finished 3-2 to Brighton.
Let's go into the Championship. It's finished at Ewood Park. Blackburn Huddersfield, John Bennett.
1-0 to Blackburn. They're back up to second despite living very dangerously second half. Radoni, Ward and Thomas had decent chances to equalise as the home side invited pressure and failed to kill off the game, but in the end Ben Brereton Diaz's goal 10 minutes before the break was enough. 6 home wins in a row now for Blackburn. Blackburn 1, Huddersfield Town 0.
That's enough to take Blackburn second in the Championship table. All over at Loftus Road, Jonathan Overend.
QPR 0, West Brom 1. Back-to-back wins for the first time this season for the Baggies. Carl Bartley the hero, his goal in the second half, and then a brilliant challenge in stoppage time as well as QPR sent their keeper up from the back. Rangers now haven't scored in their last 3. QPR 0, West Brom 1.
Mick Beale took a real principled stand when he decided not to go for talks with Wolves, didn't he? But things have not been going well since then for the QPR manager. Watford Coventry, full-time, Will Perry.
Watford 0, Coventry 1. Gyökeres with the winner 5 minutes into the second half, turning in an Allen cross from close range. Sarr missed a sitter from 5 yards. Davis had a goal ruled out for the home side. An excellent late Wilson save kept out Hungbo's equaliser. Watford 0, Coventry 1.
6 for the season for Gyökeres. It's finished in Liam Rosenior's first game in charge of Hull City at Millwall. Flo Pollitt.
Millwall 0, Hull 0, and it was a tough first game for new Hull manager Liam Rosenior. Away at Millwall, loses his best goal scorer Oscar Estepinian after 37 minutes to a straight red. But he will be pleased with how they reacted. Second half, Hull set up to defend, and defend they did. Despite all the possession, Millwall couldn't find the quality in the final third, and they'll be bitterly disappointed they couldn't get the goal. Full time, Hull grind out a draw. Millwall 0, Hull 0.
Still playing at the New York Stadium, Tom Gale.
We surely only have seconds left, Steve. It is Rotherham 1, Norwich 2. Norwich led at the break, and then 4 minutes into the second half, Rathbone equalised for Rotherham, but less than a minute later, Aston Villa loanee Aaron Ramsey tapped home after both Sargent and Pookie were denied. We played over.
So catch me if I fall.